G'day, 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 everybody. We are back for another night of VCS action, and we are starting off with an absolute banger. My name is Everyday, and the man to my left is Yulwei. Tell us what we've got and get us hyped.
Hello. Yeah, I am already very hyped. If you don't know what's going to happen now, it's Flash against GAM. It's the top two teams clashing once again. GAM, of course, has looked almost unbeatable, but they've lost 3 games, and 2 of those 3 games were to Team Flash on the first round robin. So they actually have a losing record against Team Flash on the last 2 splits combined. If you don't include the playoff game, that was a 3-0, of course, but only looking at the regular season, GAM is actually now 1-2 against Flash. So if they lose today, they have to live with a very bad record against Flash.
Absolutely. So the other thing they have to live with is the crown is taken. They're not first if they lose today because Flash will have the head-to-head.
That's true as well.
And suddenly, Flash is the kings of Vietnam. It's a big one.
It's quite ridiculous to say, because if you look at GAM's stats are out of this world. Yeah. I would like to see a comparison between GAM and C9 stats, because those 2 teams are similarly disgustingly oppressive and dominant. GAM is right now sitting at 17-3 plus 14 game score, plus 14. Yeah, the second best team, of course, is Flash at plus 6. That is more than double the difference. GAM has the shortest game time. They have 80% first third rate, which, considering they have more than 80% win rate, is actually quite low. I expected that to be 95 or something. And then their goal difference at 15, on average, on 20 games, is plus 2,912.
That is
potentially the most absurd statistic I've ever seen.
You sent me that, because obviously we chat a little bit before we go live. You sent me that stat, and I was tempted to just go like, you've done the maths wrong. You've read it wrong. There's no way that's real, but it is the correct stat. We checked the maths. It's bonkers. Yeah. So, despite Flash getting the win earlier in the split, I think GAM in the interim time has massively cemented themselves as top dog. They've got to be the favorite going into this one, but
absolutely
they're the favorite. But there are 2 things that I want to identify, and I'm sure there's a myriad of things you want to identify. Fiora, big girl on 10.5, and Yoshino on Fiora is a big boy. So don't worry, we'll talk about that in a moment. And the other one, Slater, all-star ADC. Blazers looking a little weak.
2 very, very important points today. Of course, 10.5. Yesterday was a very crazy day. We had so many weird picks. So Kalista in the solo lanes, which I can see Zeros playing. I don't actually think Kiaya or Yoshino would like to play Kalista, but I can definitely see Zeros.
I can see Yoshino playing it. He played a lot of Cannon.
Yeah, maybe. I think Yoshino likes to play. Yeah, okay, that's true. He's actually a Cannon player, and Jace as well. So could fit him. As well.
I agree with Kiaya.
But Yoshino, of course, got the much bigger buff on the Fiora, as you touched on. It already was his go-to champion. It's his most played. Not quite 4 games, but like 3rd most played champ of the split. Only behind the 2 OP picks on and set. So for sure, one of his absolute favorite champs. And one of the champs we have to say Yoshino is actually better on than Zeros is. So I really hope for the Zeros Yoshino matchup and Fiora into whatever.
Camille.
Maybe even Fiora against Kalista.
Fiora. I'd love Fiora. I want Fiora into Camille because I just want observers. There's 1 lane if that happens. If you show me mid or bot once, you're failing your job as an observer because I want either. I mean, personally, I've said this before. I get why they're playing Zeros. I understand, but I still want Kiaya to get more games because I love Kiaya and I think it's more fair. Regardless of that, though, Kiaya and Yoshino just beating the shit out of each other, going hard as a top laner. Give me that. Just 1v1s. No junglers. Get out of there, Levi. Get out of there, Yijin. Which is 2 people we should talk about as well. I want blood in that matchup. I reckon both of them are going to join that server and say, I'm so much better than that guy. Both of them will think it.
They know each other well as well, right? They played together on the same team. Even they didn't even compete for their spot because Kiaya was still mid laner, right? So very interesting matchup as always. We have to talk a little bit of Slater against Blazes because we identified that as potentially the 1 point of advantage for Flash if they want to overcome GAM again. We have to say they did it once. With a lot of help from GAM, though. A lot of trolling was involved, a lot of throwing at Baron was involved. So it wasn't actually Flash beating GAM straight up. It was more GAM beating themselves for the most part.
Particularly Levi.
So
I don't think Levi will ever play that badly again.
We'll have to wait and see. He's playing against Legion. But let's get to Slater. Slater is, of course, our all-star ADC, we could say. 400 MVP points on the official MVP ranking. We have him at 4, I think, as well. So he has a very good laning phase. His stats are actually quite similar to those of Blazes. He's up in CS on average. He has a good KDA as well. But in the last time the two met, Slater outperformed Blazes in all 3 games. That's super important for Flash. They need a point of pressure on the map, especially if Zeros is playing. Top lane will probably at most go even. Maybe you can use jungle interference to swing it in Yoshino's favor, but it's not likely that the lane will automatically go Yoshino's way.
Yeah.
So I think if Flash is going to win today, even a game, they need to play through Slater, and Slater needs to have one of his best days so far.
I think playing through the top lane won't work. I think if the top lane cracks the game open, it will just be on the back of Yoshino. He'll do it by himself. If they can draw the ire of Levi down to the bot lane and then win it, because if we get into this, Yijin's having a better split than Levi. And I know that's a controversial statement.
Yeah, Yijin is looking absolutely fantastic on Flash. I think the best player so far on the split, which is quite surprising on Flash, of course. DR1 is still by far the best player in the league.
He is.
Other than DR1, I think Yijin. Yeah, if you put DR1 in a different league, I think Yijin is the front runner for MVP right now. Because he's the best jungler in a super strong jungle pool with Yijin, Levi, DNK, and
We're getting into it fast today. The VCS is keen for the action, and what can I say? I definitely do not blame them. As Champion Select begins, the Kalista will hit the bench. They're scared of it, potentially in the hands of Yoshino. CBL's Blitz has also gone out, as has the Senna. None of that slow bot lane, which is a great decision for Flash, because it's hard to kill that Senna lane sometimes.
And look at GAM. They have identified the one problem on the map. They are confident in all the other lanes and jungle matchup, but that bot lane, that is a thorn in their eye.
Absolutely.
In their side, I should say.
So where will the picks go? And Kiaya gets his set.
Not very surprising.
Now, Kiaya has been absolutely incredible on this champion, but this is 10.5 set. It is not the set that, it's a pretty good, it's a great matchup for Fiora. I'd love to see Fiora picked in the first round. As Lucian secured, I don't necessarily want to see Carti on that. I don't think that's the right pick for Carti against Dia.
We've seen some weird shifts in priority for Carti. For some reason, last week he went full AD jumps. Lucian went Acton all the time. I really don't agree with that shift as well. We'll have to see. This Lucian is for Slater. Could still be for Slater as well.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
I think that's what I prefer.
Especially if they maybe they even called the Syndra out, because last time Blazes started off with the Syndra bot lane as well. So it's definitely possible that Blazes goes back to the Syndra. We have two very strong laners secured for GAM and a solid support for champion, of course, and Nautilus. So not a bad draft. We'll have to see what Team Flash wants to go for here. I kind of think you need to pick Fiora if you want to pick Fiora.
Yeah, I think she gets banned out in the second round of bans. I mean,
Why?
Ooh, this seems like a mistake. Maybe Yoshino isn't sort of pumped up. This seems like a little bit of a...
Right.
Maybe I can't take it to Kiaya, so I need the safety of the cannon. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
It was also a little bit more team fighting power, which might be the call for Surge. We need team fighting against GAM because they can force team fights, and from behind it's very hard to split push, which is understandable. I actually think that's potentially a very good read. I'm not the biggest fan of the cannon this patch though, when you have all the other options available that can also counter the top lane matchup. Really, Aban is very interesting. She is very high priority on this patch.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen her building Bork, and I think if she gets ahead and builds Bork, she kind of crushes it. So I don't necessarily hate it, if I'm going to be totally honest. And Galio rounds out the bands, something that Paulette has shown once, I think, but also maybe something they're reading off scrims.
Dia1 has played him once last week. Was a little bit of a weird game, I have to say. Didn't expect him to play the Galio. And yeah, more of a facilitating champs. It's not something I would expect Dia1 to go to. We have seen him play it. I don't know why he would ban it out. He has so many great champs. It's a very strange ban to me.
I completely agree. It doesn't make a huge amount of sense. And Shyvana hits the ban list. They don't want to have the strongest jungler in the VCS being picked. And Lee Sin will be the takeaway. There is quite a few junglers banned. 4 of them removed if you count Pantheon. 3 if you don't. But Rek'Sai, the soft counter pick, has come in. This is not necessarily the greatest decision. And now we either need a mid laner or an AD carry for Flash. And we need an AD carry here for GAM.
Seems like GAM wants to go Syndra mid lane, which is something we haven't actually seen for too often. That's interesting adaptation. I would have expected this to be bot lane Syndra, honestly, but maybe they made the call. Syndra into Lucian Thresh is not the greatest of lanes, so we need a little bit more of a safe choice for ADC. MF, just a very... Okay. Flash going with Lucian mid.
Later going back to his roots. Bringing out the bird.
That is a very squishy composition Team Flash has built. Wow.
Carty is...
There is almost no tankiness whatsoever.
Carty has thrown down the gauntlet.
He wants to challenge Dia1.
That's bold.
That's a very dangerous thing to do.
That's definitely. So bold. You know what?
Oh, Flash from behind is just super useless.
Yeah, they have to win.
They need to get ahead. Yeah. And that's quite interesting as an approach against GAM. To pick winning lanes when you know the last time you played against GAM won the lanes and you only won the series because GAM threw at Baron. So to make the change and say we pick hard winning matchups in the lanes and then just try to overcome GAM's early game is quite an unusual approach, I'd say. Yeah. So interesting, very, very interesting first draft.
Absolutely. So we'll have to see once we get in game where the pressure is going to be. I think the cannon pick tells me they want early skirmishes around that level 6, play around the slicing maelstrom. If they, and again, this is a big if they can get 2-3k gold up on GAM, they can win this game. But if GAM goes out to that ridiculous stat you brought up before, to that 3,000 gold lead at 15 minutes, Flash, yeah, no, that ain't happening.
Yeah, there's nothing for Flash to do. Double ADC, they don't have any kind of front line. They don't even have the greatest amount of engage. I think Cannon is super crucial as well to lock down the enemy backline targets. Very immobile carries. So if Cannon can come from a flank, maybe Flash ult into the backline, that could be the start of the fight and maybe bring Flash a good advantage.
Yeah.
So Yoshino needs to be one of the winning lanes for sure. This matchup should be winning quite heavily, honestly. There's not a lot Set can do against Cannon.
No.
can kite forever.
To be fair, though, sometimes there's a bit of Kiaya magic in the air.
Yep.
Sometimes he's
a very good set player.
He seems to have a face breaker that can hit across half the lane. And he's gone the fleet footwork. That already says he's not super confident in this lane. He's had to go the safe laning rune. I think it's a good decision, but it does hamper him as this game goes on.
Honestly, though, this game is probably not about picking up Conqueror stacks for Kiaya and building to a big team fight, so I don't think it's that big of a loss. Of course, set one of the greatest champs for Conqueror. Pretty easy to stack it up as well, so it's definitely damage loss and a little bit of sustain in the late game as well.
Yep.
But I think it's crucial for the laning phase.
And then we do have both junglers starting on the bot side. Very, very normal. Will there be a topside gank? It is. You can gank this set early on with Lee Sin Cannon. There's definitely enough CC and damage. I'm not, again, I don't know if it's what you want to play through.
An early kill for Cannon would be nice. I'm not sure if he has the damage, to be honest, to lock down the set early on. With his shield, he's deceptively tanky.
Actually, I'd like to take back what I just said. They're definitely not playing through top. Yoshino started Cull.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So scaling, a little bit of scaling for Yoshino. Also interesting rune choices for most of the Flash players. A lot of Legend Alacrity.
Yeah.
Now can be seen here.
I think it makes...
Not a single Legend Alacrity on the other side. We have a lot of precision today. Everyone very precise.
They're absolutely, they're not missing much. Hopefully you guys in the audience are running that precision tree because we'd hate... Oh, wow! Well done there! Oh, the hook lands! CBL got a hook champion, and you know what that means? Bot lane is hook city, bitch! And there Paulette manages to get away, but Blazers has been sent to the grave.
And what did we talk about? Flash strong point on the map compared to GAM. It's the bot lane. And there we go. First kill over to Slater. It's almost the picture perfect start for Flash. Up to 700 gold lead from this one first blood already. So Flash is starting the game definitely hot and hitting the ground running here. Something we really wanted to see.
Absolutely.
And now we might see a clash in the jungle.
Yeah. Possibly. This Scuttle Crab looks to be contested. Karti has pretty heavy mid lane prio, so he's going to be there well before.
For on the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's the flash knock up. The weak is flashed, and Flash should be able to get the hell out of there. Ooh, Yijin, your mind was telling you no, and he didn't listen to his body. Ooh, here we go. And it was spicy.
Let's look at the spot lane fight again. We start off with just a normal ADC trade. I think Slater makes the call. Yeah, here's
the hook on the minion. They go because feathers. Yep. Oh, yep. CBL.
Slater also got his stack on the lethal tempo, so he knew that he had a superior DPS at that time.
Yep.
Very nicely positioned feathers as well. So they just made the call to go in on the feathers and the lethal tempo, and then crucial hook for CBL secured the kill.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something we didn't touch on in Champion Select because there's been so much to talk about, because I can't stress this enough. This is such an exciting matchup. If the implications, if Flash win today, are huge. Massive implications if they can get up. But CBL, there's a reason that Blitzcrank gets banned. There's a reason. Yeah. It's because if he sees a hook on a champion, he decides to win. And here we go. CBL starting up another play. Won't hit the hook this time. Still has the flavor. If they want to turn on to Paulette, there it is. Blazers taking so much damage, and the feathers will cut him down. 2-0 in the bot lane for Slater. Are we ready, boys, for the Slater show?
And think back to the big performances of Slater already this season. He has a pentakill to his name already in the very first series of the VCS, of course, where Divkid and Slater traded pentakills on Xayah. So this is definitely a comfort position for Slater, one of his favorite champs from last year as well. He's capable of carrying games on the Xayah, so we'll have to see.
This was a good start to the play. Well done by Blazers, predicting the hook. Make sure he didn't get cleaned up. But look at the damage.
Yeah, it's not enough though. Yeah. So he made the call to dodge the hook, which of course was a good call. But then again, he dodged to the side, so he actually prolonged the way back to his turret, and that gives CBL enough time to close the gap. Anyway, uses flay, not slay, and secure the kill anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Flayed the kill over to Slater, of course.
Exactly. It went basically as well as possible. GAM gonna fire back quite literally as they pick up an Infernal Drake. Again, this is the consolation prize. Not what they want. And this is what has to happen for Flash. They've got a lead. They just have to hold it and grow it now. Nurture it like a little baby.
Yeah, and so far, Yijin has fallen a little bit behind in terms of pathing to Levi. Very nice gank, of course. So he at least has one assist to his name. But in terms of jungle camps cleared, Levi is slightly ahead. Also due to the fact that Levi got the early jump in the mid lane fight, because of his mid lane and his top laner were there to assist him. So Yijin needs to be careful. Now, actually, it had in CS because of the Scuttle Crab, so it's still a very close jungle matchup.
Jungle matchup is pretty much dead even, but Yijin has had more impact this game. He did a lot in that bot gank. Was super, super crucial to getting the kill. And could go down there again to try and get Blazer's Flash as it comes back up to really continue the bot lane dominance, because the other two lanes are fine. They're just dead even. Yeah.
So,
Levi's here going in, but not even the flash. The dash away is very easy.
One just forgot to use the soul there, an orb there.
Yeah.
He scattered the weak, but there was nothing to scatter. Wow. A very rare mechanical misplay for DR1. Maybe a little bit of pressure coming in from the mid laner for GAM.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe they're feeling the nerves a little bit. We've got some shaky hands. GAM, maybe they don't know how to go up against someone that's beaten them because they never do it. They've got the nerves.
Actually, maybe that's true. Who knows? So far, it's still an okay position to fight back from. Of course, totally. It's never great to have an enemy Xayah be ahead of you or MF. Usually you want to be the other way around. Xayah a little bit stronger when it comes to scaling because she has more self-peel. She can set up fights. She can control fights a little bit more than MF. MF is not a bad late game champ. She still deals a lot of damage.
He remembered to use the orb that time and pops the ult just to deal a hell of a lot of damage. Put Cardi in a bad position, but here comes Levi. Dashes away from the Prey Seeker, so the Chomp can't come out. You know, I've started calling that the Chomp so much, I don't know what it's called anymore. I only know it as the Chomp.
I think that's a very fair name for what he looks like.
He's a shark, right?
A very aggressive chomp. Yeah. Yep.
And DR1 picking up the blue buff. Sure, Cardi will be doing the same. Also, just a comment on Cardi and how I said that he threw down the gauntlet, but maybe he slapped Dia in the face with it as he's running Ignite as well. Hasn't gone a defensive summoner against Syndra. He's here to win.
And of course, Lucian also one of DR1's most played champs. So maybe this is just a pick away from DR1 so that he can't dominate the mid lane. In almost all the Lucian games he has played so far, he has gotten the solo kill. So it's actually quite a smart rotation. You don't really think as Lucian as a pick away champ. Whenever you have a Lucian in the mid lane, you want him to dominate lane. But this is, if Cardi can contain DR1, and Slater can look like better ADC and dominate bot lane. That's enough for Flash to win. Top lane should be even. Those are two very strong top laners. So whenever you can neutralize the strongest member on the other team, you might be able to run away with the victory, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when we were sort of chatting before, we identified that if DR1 gets neutralized, GAM almost looks mortal. Almost.
Yeah. It doesn't happen often, of course. It's not like that's an easy task.
Oh, God, no.
Because DR1 is playing out of this world so far. 8 MVPs for us, by far the most. He's actually not ahead in the Vietnamese stream, but who cares about that? He should be ahead.
The Vietnamese stream has some very interesting MVP picks. Oh, and up in the top lane, here comes the suplex, answered by the slicing maelstrom. Yoshino stepping away from the true damage, but he's still charging forward. Mr. Kiaya, it's turning around onto the other foot. Can the stun land? No, they'll call off the play, but it was one there. Oh my god, the mid lane, though, they're trading back and forth. Carty went for the miracle, but Dia1 has shown why we talk about him. Oh no, Yijin super caught out now, puts the tag down, does not have the Dragon's Raid. He flashes, but who's there? Nobody at all, no one's home, and Yijin goes down, caught in the chicken pit. And suddenly, GAM is GAM,
suddenly
and they're back.
T2 again, and another dragon conveniently spawned as well, so... Oh no, it's suddenly turning back in GAM's favor. And of course, it all starts with a solo kill in the mid lane. Where else? It's Dia1. Wow. And Carty's really tried his best to get this.
Oh, here we go. Yoshino wants a solo kill. Yoshino? Flash has been used. Can he get forward? No, Yoshino had already used the flash of his own, so couldn't get it. But here comes Dia, lurking in the water. Don't think he's going to be doing much except clearing a wave, but no, he actually just recalls.
And look at the CS count for Yoshino. He really doesn't want to go back until he gets another CS, because he has a call on one stack. This is such a horrible feeling if he gets to. Oh man, oh no. He actually is on 2 stacks, so you got ward or something. Okay, whatever. It would still be 1 wave. So let's look at this mid lane play again. Carty actually starts it off. Ignite running now, but he doesn't
everything hits. He needed to flash the E, I think.
And Dia1 flash.
Oh, he also needed to cancel the culling. There's a few mechanical mistakes there. And then Yijin, lazy.
Dia1 also heads up. Yijin, what are you doing there?
He's lost. The blind monk living up to his name.
Also, a very good rotation from GAM's bot lane to assist the mid laner. So, very good to see GAM finding ways to get back into the game. They are still 600 gold behind, interestingly enough. And the call has not even paid out yet for the top lane. So we should still go to 1k gold lead, at least in pure gold stats. Which, of course, is a little bit deceptive, because call only really generates like 200 gold, 187 to be completely fair. So there we go. One more stack.
He's got to kill a minion, and he's done it. Ding, ding, ding. Cull completed here at 13 minutes. Maybe if he had a Doran's Blade, he would have gotten the solo kill. Think about it.
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. But we can dream, and our anti-Cull sentiment will never stop. CBL in the mid lane. Heads up timing, as it did look like a little bit of a play was setting up onto Carty. So the man survives. ADCs
so looking at the dragon count, GAM is super early on the dragon snowball.
Yeah.
We're at 14 minutes. They already have 2 dragons secured. Next one will spawn in 2.5 minutes. So we are looking at a 16.5 minute third dragon. If they secure that before 17 minutes, we have a 22 minute dragon soul potentially, and 28 minute. We could have a 28 minute elder dragon in this game. That is absurdly early. So
the old goes fishing, doesn't find anything.
Ooh,
Carty took a lot of damage. That's getting problematic very quickly. And Paulette says, I have a hook too, mate. CBL very caught out, puts the box down and flashes. Manages to stop watch the chomp. Yijin dies. I don't know why. And Levi gets another one. You can't keep a good GAM down. Slater as well, a little bit unaware perhaps of the play that was going on. He knew there were 4 around the bot lane. He's popped up. There are still feathers here to defend himself, so I don't think they'll make anything of this.
Wait.
Levi, what are you doing, Levi? Yoshino and TP'd in. Levi!
She solved the TP. Levi, what? That was... okay. Levi didn't have his ult available either, so I am at a loss for words. What did he think he would accomplish there? Okay, Levi handed over another kill, but in the end, it's still favorable for GAM, especially because they also get the first turret in the top lane. Most like,
Kiaya in a bit of trouble. The Q lands. There's nowhere for Set to go. Couldn't even get the haymaker off.
Yeah, I don't quite like that Heejin took the kill. I think he should have given it over to Cardi, who's in a very bad position right now. And look at how Heejin dies. He wants to go for the play on Blazes, and then of course, just DR1 with a very good stun.
Got gunned down. That was...
wow,
we're back to a Herald fight. CBL gets cleaned up immediately. DR1 is doing DR1 things. Slicing Maelstrom has to be used defensively, but it will do enough to pick up Levi. But now, Yoshino has died. Yijin manages to get over the wall. I'd love to see his health count. It can't be many. And they will flee. Oh, no. Yijin gets shot down as he was about to escape by the orb from Dia. And it's all going wrong here for Flash. They've got a tiny gold lead. Slater now caught out. Does he have the Featherstorm? If he's got Featherstorm, he might win it. But he didn't. And there's the shutdown for Dia 1. And when all hope seemed lost for GAM, truly the heavens did open up. And out of the heavens came Dia 1. And he picked Syndra and he got them back in the game.
Yeah, he absolutely did. An outstanding performance once again from the best player in the league. That's what we expect, of course, but it's still impressive to see every game.
Yep, and now getting a 17-minute third dragon.
Oh, Flash. Flash is still not super far behind in gold. They have a few items completed now as well. It's very hard to see how they can withstand the DR1 burst because they don't have any tank. Look at this again. CBL gets caught. That was not okay. The damage from DR1.
They do get the Rift Herald.
Levi a little bit aggressive.
Consolation prize. Yeah, Levi not looking good on this Rek'Sai so far. Truly, when they find themselves in times of trouble, Mother Dia comes to them, seeking words of wisdom.
Dia hit 3 crucial stuns in this fight.
Yeah, he's ridiculous.
100%. Yeah. The accuracy was perfect. No, 4 even. He hits another one here. So it's 4 stuns in a row hit on crucial targets to secure kills.
This is ridiculous. This guy. What the hell? Like, have they, maybe because, the LCK stopped... Maybe GAM predicted coronavirus. Maybe they started it. And they actually snuck into Korea about 3-4 months ago and just kidnapped Faker and then got him a lot of plastic surgery. But they also brought him back to 2016.
Oh, man.
Maybe they've somehow stolen 2016 Faker.
It's super impressive. Well, the game is not over yet, but with this strong mid laner right now, Flash can't really do anything. They kind of have to avoid DR1 because no one is tanky enough to tank the combo for DR1. So wherever he goes...
Paulette caught out here. Part of the problem here for GAM is that they've got DR1 and Blazers as well, making some really good plays, even though obviously Blazers had a rough lane. He's doing fine in these team fights. But Levi and Paulette are making some mistakes. Paulette's less so. He's not making too many mistakes. Getting caught in that brush was silly. But Levi in particular has died when there was no need to. Both of his deaths were silly.
I have to agree. The second one was, I guess, excusable because he actually prolonged the fight and let the enemy team turn on him, which gave Dia enough time to set up another stun. So you could argue the second one was more warranted. But yeah, the first one was just pure lapse of judgment. So yeah, not looking too great. Honestly, both junglers are struggling this game. Heejin has also not been able to find anything successful for his team.
Past that first gang.
But if you look at the items for Flash, they are building up to a strong 2-item power spike when Slater completes his IE and maybe even a Black Cleaver completion for Cardi. Then they can actually fight. We have Cannon on 2 items. He's super strong. A lot of penetration, so a lot of burst. there is a potential team fight where Flash wins the 4th dragon fight, and they need to contest 4th dragon, of course. Not even that much because of the soul.
I actually think they got very lucky on the coin flip.
Yeah.
If this had been an Ocean Rift, this would be so scary for Flash because you can't give up a 22, 23-minute Ocean Soul. But a Cloud Soul that's honestly not that good for GAM. It's always good, but it's not amazing. Maybe you can give that up if you're in a...
Cloud for DI is...
Yeah, true.
Very hard.
You don't want to give it up, and they should fight for it. But if things are looking dire, you can give it up, where I think you actually just have to make the throw your cards on the table play if it was an Ocean. So it is good for Flash.
Also, you could actually make the deliberate call for Flash to say, we want to give this up. Of course, it gives the enemy team a little bit of a stat boost, and it's not super nice. But then, in 28 minutes, another win condition spawns. And if we can hold the game until then, we can actually force the fight in 6 minutes, where maybe Flash can complete some more items, maybe 3 items on Slater. And then, if they win the crucial fight around Elder Dragon, the game's just will just turn in their favor. That's a little bit like the 3rd game, GAM against Flash, when they played for the first time. GAM had a big advantage in that game and threw around Baron and lost every ensuing teamfight afterwards. So that could be a choice for Flash. I don't expect it to happen. I think they still want to contest the soul.
But I think they absolutely have to contest it. If they can get in, but CBL will start it off well. Cardi doing a lot of damage, should be able to cull the Sailor, and Slater will actually clean it up. Blazes chases off Yijin, but here comes the big slams. Cardi actually dashes over the wall to make sure Levi can't use him as an escape. This is a lot of damage out of Yoshino, but it doesn't matter. He falls to the fists of Kiaya, and it's another strong team fight win for GAM. And I think we might be reaching the point where you can't team fight this anymore.
Yeah. So the big problem there for Flash was first, Slater is not on an item power spike, so he's actually in a very weird state where he does deal damage, but not enough to really carry a fight, and he never got a good position on this fight. So, yeah, double ADC usually is very strong in prolonged fights, and Xayah especially is very strong in jungle fights where she can utilize her feathers and threaten or block certain engage paths. But this fight, she didn't really get to do that, and even if she did, her damage is not big enough or not enough to carry the fight. So a little bit of an ill-advised fight to take for Flash. I think he can't ever look to win this fight without IE. So IE was not there. Now they threw away more gold and the Ocean Soul. So not Ocean Soul, Cloud Soul, of course. Their chances of winning this game are definitely dwindling, but it's still not completely over. No, I'd say it's like 80% now for GAM to win this game, but a 20% chance still for Flash. If they can win a very strong team fight with both ADCs popping off, I can see it happening.
Oh, the hook lands, and oh no, Cardi, I don't know if you're getting out of there. Good suplex to interrupt the lantern, and the reinforcements arrived, but they really were the death corpse as all of Flash is going down. And are you going to adjust that 80%? As Kiaya doesn't even want to end the fight, but I think he might have to.
Yeah, this is just silly from Flash, honestly. Yeah, there's absolutely no need for them to be this aggressive. Just catch waves and try to scale into late game. You can't win right now in team fights, so don't try. Don't put yourself in a position where you are potentially exposed to grabs. Of course, the Nautilus hook connecting was a little bit questionable, I have to say. There was a wall, which the grab should have gone to. Well, of course, it's Nautilus, so we're used to it by now. And now it's a Baron over GAM.
It looked good at the start, but it hasn't continued at all.
Yeah. And now this game is over, honestly. 7k gold lead on this team composition. I talked about this team composition being very hard to execute from behind because they are all very squishy and they can't really team fight up front against burst on the other side. And yeah, DR1 is super strong. Even Blazes has a lot of burst now. And yeah, who is going to look at the scrap? That's not okay. I hate Nautilus so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Legion and CBL. CBL could have potentially gotten away there. He wasted some time with an auto attack on the ward. That is maybe an A-click fail. Maybe he just thought he had time to clear the ward there, but definitely not the case. Wouldn't have changed too much, to be honest. It's just the support. So
yeah, it's not too bad.
So this is just the victory lap.
This is absolutely. They're just doing a few doughies around the track at this point. This is
top laner for Flash is lower level than GAM's ADC.
Yeah.
We had a rough laning phase. So yeah, that summarizes the state of the game well, I think. So this is potentially not lasting for too many more minutes. GAM can shorten their average game time even more. 29 minutes and 45 seconds. It's highly likely that this game will not go to that time.
Yeah. I don't think Elder Drake will be relevant. GAM definitely doesn't need it, and I think they actually want to end before it exists because it always turns into the potential coin flip.
Yeah, that said, even with Elder Dragon for Flash, I would actually favor GAM still in teamfights, which is a strong statement to make, I know. Elder Dragon is quite broken, but yeah, Flash is so squishy, even against the 20% execution for GAM. I think they still would have the HP bar lead, especially with Kiaya being this tanky. So yeah, it's not really. There aren't that many worlds to look at where Flash can come back to in this game. So we should probably just think about the second game already, because this one seems to be over.
Absolutely. Blazes does take a lot of damage, but will get away regardless.
999 crit. Very aesthetically pleasing.
That is right on the money for what we want.
So what can Flash change in the next game to not fall prey to this kind of game plan again? DR1.
Oh, no. Doesn't even take a single point of damage. He's 5-0-6. This man
is a monster,
can we even say this man? This thing, this god. Oh.
Yeah.
What is going on?
He's just insane. They picked away the Lucian to have a better lane matchup for Cardi, and it actually did look quite good for 15 minutes. And then DR1 decided to win this game, got the solo kill, and didn't die a single time so far. So aggressive flashes. I think he didn't even flash defensively once this game. Everything was aggressive. And yeah, let's go.
And Slater is getting dived on. Could get a big blade caller and does. Kiaya should be going down, but the true damage is strong. He gets the shutdown though, but CBL on the other side, not to mention Yijin, are already laying in the grave. Yoshino could make something happen, potentially get a slicing Maelstrom, but they've gone to the Elder Drake. And this should be the absolute final nail in the coffin.
Still not level 16. For Yoshino, so he doesn't actually have the great damage he would like to hope for at this state of the game. Yijin is dead. Yoshino is dead too.
Yoshino just got dead. Okay, Carti went for the last ditch effort, and DR1 padding the stats.
The best, just honestly, the best animation in the game right now. Elder Dragon.
Yeah.
It's even better if you play it yourself. It's
so satisfying.
The first time I ever got Elder Dragon, it's so wow. I was blown away by how much it impacted my vision and like how much the whole screen not froze, but like rumbled.
Oh my god, Levi doing his best to impersonate, I don't know, Tyler 1 2 years ago. Running it down. That was horrible. What's going on, Levi?
Levi's having a little bit of fun. Levi is in a weird position this season, honestly. He's not the main carry for GAM anymore, and I think he's still struggling to kind of come to terms with that new position here.
Has picked up another
more
kill.
Of a facilitator.
This is 20-9. This is a bad sign for the series. This is hard to bounce back from as Flash. They had a great start and they've been absolutely dismantled. The triple kill, Blazers is looking for it. Bam. That's the quadra. Carty, my boy. Are they going to go for the fountain dive? Yes, they are. They Blazers might be getting the penta.
Oh, come on, Carty.
No.
Oh, come on.
Carty has gone for the stopwatch. Blazers could crit him out though. He's got he's got 5 seconds if he wants it. No, he's not going to get it.
Blazers. Oh, come on, Blazers.
Very unfortunate. I don't know if I can blame Blazers. That was a value stopwatch. And the game, hang on, it might have a little bit more in it. Never mind, because Carty does not have any more health. And GAM pick up a dominant game one. Dear Lord. Dear Lord.
What a start.
What can we say? Dear one.
Dear one indeed. So I think we still can be a little bit more hopeful for the rest of the series because Flash actually found a way to beat GAM's early game. GAM, for the first time in a lot of games, did not actually win through superior early game. We quoted their stats. They are absolutely insane. They are one of the strongest early game teams ever domestically, compared to their league. Of course, we can't really compare them cross leagues, but Flash was ahead in gold at 15, and that's the first time GAM has been behind in gold at 15. I think since Flash against GAM game 2, where they played the Soraka top lane and Yumi bot lane.
That was bad.
And scored a little bit.
So shall we, just to get the ceremony out of the way, we do have to pick an MVP. It's a toughie. Do we give it to Dia1?
Yeah,
we could also give it to Dia1. Or maybe Dia1.
Or maybe Dia1.
So I think this is the easiest choice we've ever had.
Oh, God. The man is smurfing on the whole league. It's absolutely absurd.
It's ridiculous. I think he is more dominant than Zeros was.
Yeah. Especially out of lane.
Yeah, particularly out of lane.
And even his lane stats are insane. I checked his CSD at 15. It's at plus 20.
Yeah, ridiculous.
On average.
That's ridiculous. And he roams a lot as well.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Dia1 is honestly not he's playing in a different league. It's like when Knight would come down to play VCS. So just dominate the mid lane, dominate the whole map, and dominate the whole game. That is what Dia1 is doing currently in this league, and it's a joy to watch, but it's also quite scary.
Yeah, but Flash may well be able to fight back. We'll be going to a little bit of a break. Don't go anywhere, because it's Flash Game 1, baby. It doesn't mean anything. You never, ever know.
That's true as well.
And we can definitely put our hands together to see if divine retribution may happen. We'll see you guys in just about 8 or so minutes. There'll be a timer on screen. Don't you worry. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody, to another game here of Flash taking on GAM. It was a ridiculous performance from the mid lane, and truly, in the break, I did something. Yulwei, I did something important. I went to the holy book of League of Legends, and yay, it did warn of the great power of Dia1. It did say he would come and plague this land that is Vietnam, and he would make every team look terrible in his wake. But lo, there was a prophecy of one man. He would play in the top lane. He would pick a French woman, and he would carry Flash to salvation. His name was Yoshino. And I believe in him. He can save us from this plague of GAM being too good.
That was fantastic. Zeros is in, so let's go. Yoshino,
that might have made it harder.
Take your French woman and dominate Zeros in the top lane. Because honestly, Kiaya in this matchup seems to be GAM's. This time, GAM seems to put duct tape over the top lane, I should say, because Kiaya, every time they play against Flash, Kiaya gets absolutely no attention, no assistance. He has to suffer in bad matchups. So let's see what GAM does for Zeros this time around. Of course, we all know they like to play through Zeros a lot, so maybe this time Levi and Dia1 go back to camping Zeros in the top lane.
It's very possible. It's a very naughty recovery. Yeah, I mean, when you've got Zeros on your team, it's hard not to play around him sometimes, and they are somewhat going back to the last split method. And Dia1 has finally tied for first place for MVPs. An absolute crime that he needed this game to tie. But who cares about the mainstream? They're pretty sure they picked them out of the hat.
He's easily in the lead at our stream, which validates our choices, I think, because he should be with his performance so far.
And here we go. Champ Select begins.
On Flash on blue side, traditionally the worst side for them. They are now 10 out of 13 games on red side. So their red side win rate tanked a little bit in the last 2 weeks. They were perfect for the start of the split for the most part. But now Flash needs to find a victory from blue side. Last time around against GAM, they also lost game 1 quite convincingly, got stomped, and then came back. So it's still possible. Everything is still possible. GAM can still troll the second game like they did last time. So
surely not.
Who knows?
Surely that's not how Flash.
We see the Janna top lane.
Yeah, I mean, but is Janna top trolling at this point?
It's actually not.
I mean, I think Zeros playing it is trolling.
Maybe.
So,
as you can imagine, I tried Janna top lane yesterday.
Of course you did. Ooh, what's that? I can play a super unfun pick? Ooh, Yulwei like. Typical. But the bans are coming in and they're identical so far to last time.
No. Blitzcrank once again banned. I actually questioned this Blitzcrank ban because you saw what you could do on Thresh as well. So it's kind of weird only banning one hook jump when you know you can do the same on another hook jump. But they banned out Slater's Kalista again as well, so still full bot side focus. Didn't really work in game 1. Team Flash still got the bot lane advantage, so
absolutely.
I guess in the end GAM won the game, so it worked out in the long run, I guess. But yeah, we'll have to see.
Yoshino might go to the set.
And Zeros, I'm not sure what that symbol was supposed to mean, but I think, I think Zeros definitely threw down the gauntlet.
Yeah.
to
and I actually think he's got the better side of this. I think Renekton is stronger on 10.5. Bork Renekton is scary. And Dia1, there's a reason I went to the joke that I went to. Because he did it on Syndra, the Dark Sovereign. Truly, Dia1 is the great Satan. Can they take him down?
So, to go back to the matchup set against Renekton, it was known as a counter match before. The Renekton was seen as a counter into set because he could break the shield of the Haymaker, right? So he was picked, but we didn't really see Renekton pop off in this matchup too much. But now Seb got nerfed once again, and Renekton got heavily buffed in terms of itemization. So this matchup now should really be in the Crocodile's favor.
Later, going back to his wife, picks up the Kai'Sa. I wouldn't have minded another Xayah game. He was not the issue. Last game, they actually dominated the lane with the Thresh.
Yeah.
Xayah, they could have picked it up again. I wouldn't have minded the bot lane salty run back.
Honestly, yeah, I agree. The Kai'Sa is very strong against some of the enemy champs, I'd say. Kai'Sa has her shield, so she can at least try to dodge around Syndra and maybe even threaten a kill in the backline. That said, Xayah is very strong against Syndra as well, of course, with her ultimate, and Xayah is super good into Necton, so I have to say I agree. I think Xayah is that pick. To be honest, I just love Xayah as a pro play champ. I think she ticks all the boxes. She's super versatile. She has a great laning phase. I prefer her over Kai'Sa, even though Kai'Sa is a super fun champ to play. So I can understand why Slater goes back to Kai'Sa all the time as well. We have an 80 top laner and Kai'Sa on the bot lane, so damage profile is not a big problem for Flash. They can adapt their team position either way, and we could actually see AP jungle and AD mid, or something like AD jungle and like tank mid for Flash here. It's a very good setup to build a very diverse team composition.
I honestly wouldn't mind a very defensive mid. Play Ornn mid.
Yeah.
He's not as obviously.
Could also play Maokai.
Yeah, Maokai mid as well. Potentially stronger on the patch. I haven't seen enough of Ornn on 10.5 to make a super accurate judgment yet, I don't think. Like, ooh, Rakan secured. Will they go?
Xayah.
The Lovers Lane?
I think so. Xayah Rakan into Nautilus Kai'Sa, that's a super interesting lane. Actually not super easy to win for Xayah Rakan. Nautilus can prevent a lot of the engages, but I think full all-in, Xayah Rakan is stronger. And Kai'Sa and Nautilus kind of needs to wait for the enemy team to slip up. Oh, it is the Nautilus flex pick though. There we go.
Here we go! Nautilus will go mid lane.
Yeah, Kadi has shown us one Nautilus game in the mid lane, so I was kind of thinking about bringing it up here. But yeah, there we go. The double hook composition for Team Flash. And now we need a little bit of a carry jungler, in my opinion, for Legion.
Yeah.
Maybe a Shyvana. Oh, and Olaf. Yeah, that's not bad either.
Olaf, high priority jungler, can definitely put the game on his back. They could flex Syndra to the bot lane.
And very good into Syndra. Very, very good into Syndra.
Yes. Just run her down. Now we'll see if it will be the Syndra mid lane. I kind of think it will be because what Adia did last game. And the Xayah hover locked in. The Lovers have been picked. That's a rough lane down there, but CBL has a hook. So who knows? All of these lanes are super explosive.
Yeah. I think this is very smart draft for Team Flash, where Kati is just on a neutralizing pick that scales great into mid game, where the all-DCC for Nautilus is still relevant. Space damages are still strong as well, so I like this approach to Flash a lot. You have kind of a bridging tool in Nautilus who falls off later on when it comes to damage, but then you have Slater taking over, so this composition is pretty smooth if you look at their build path throughout the game. Kai'Sa very weak in the early game right now, but builds comes online on 2 and 3 items, and her itemization is pretty cheap, so she gets the 3 items pretty easily. We'll have to see if Slater goes for AD or AP build. Of course, Kai'Sa also received a change this patch, actually, where especially her AD build, I think, got buffed. Well, some people argue it's better for the AP build. So basically, the change tried to go for more distinct strengths of Kai'Sa. So if you go for AD build, your AD spells should hit harder, but the AP based skills, so the W mostly, shouldn't hit as hard. While if you go for AP build, your W is way stronger. You actually get a 70% cooldown reduction now instead of 50%, and deal a little bit more damage. So that's the Kai'Sa change on 10.5.
Yep, it will be interesting to see if maybe she rises back to prominence. That would be a big buff for Slater. He is very good on the Kai'Sa, and her dropping out of the meta this year has definitely not been super kind to the dude. So if she can come back, but this is it's such a hard lane going into Xayah Rakan with I mean the Thresh is better than the Nautilus, but I still think it's very tricky.
I am not sure if I agree. Nautilus can stop Rakan very easily. Thresh
can play him back.
He has Flay, of course, yeah, but he's also squishier. So Thresh has more damage than Nautilus, but he's also way squishier. So whenever, especially on level 6, I think Thresh is under a lot of he will face a lot of danger of dying because he's squishier than Nautilus. And whenever Palette gets the jump first, he could just go ult Flash on the Thresh, so Thresh can't proc the Aftershock. And if Blaze's coordinates Whale with Palette, you can then burst down Thresh, maybe easier than you could burst down the Nautilus. So
yeah, I think Thresh's hook is better against Rakan though at stopping his engages because you don't get pulled to him.
That's actually pretty.
So I actually think there's pros and cons to both of them.
I think it's more explosive. I think it's more volatile. There are pros and cons for either choice. I think Nautilus is a little bit more defensive.
Wow, look at the fight up in the top lane already. We're brawling. Yoshino wants revenge for not getting play last split. And he's beating the hell out of Zeros at the moment. Look at them both glowing with the conch. Oh, you've got to love it.
Yeah, to generate top lanes, play melee champs, of course. I hate top lane so much.
I mean, I still think the best suggestion I've ever seen for top lane was in a Reddit thread, which said, when you begin a game of League of Legends, the new Riot fighting game, oh, never mind, we'll come back to it. Palette has gone in here. The hook missed. There's a lot of damage, but the Guardian very well used to negate the Kai'Sa passive.
Yeah, I read the same comment.
Yeah,
it was about the fight.
Yeah. I'll continue it for those that might have not. When the game starts, both top laners should just have the new Riot fighting game launch. Their champions are removed from the game, and whoever wins the fighting game just gives like a 6,000 gold buff to their team, and they can start a new game.
Oh my god.
Because top lane doesn't matter. Oh, Zeros wants this fight. He's popped forward, but Yoshino with Haymaker will force the flash. And that was an unwise little crocodile there. And Yoshino coming out big.
The ward. The ward annoyed Yoshino a lot there. Yeah. He actually, the minion stopped his back because he wasn't vision because of the ward, of course. But yeah, first great skirmish for Yoshino. It seems like Zeros is not finding the openings to win the fights here. I think he uses his W a little bit too early. Usually, you want to wait on your W to break the shield, of course, to get the big advantage.
But then again, Yoshino held it. He didn't Haymaker until right at the end. I think he was calling that, well, I need to force him to use it. There's a teleport from Yoshino, but Yijin doesn't need the backup. The Viking's gone up and skinned himself a croc. Good start.
And this is horrible for Zeros. Zeros does a huge teleport.
Yeah, he has look at the bot lane first. But here's the dive in the bot lane. It is still GAM. They'll pick up the kill. I don't think they can go... Are they going to go round 2 with Palette that low? This is a little bit dangerous, but Blaze is his full health, so I don't think Slater will try it. Much smarter than Anakin.
Good kill picked up by Levi in the bot lane. Slater stayed alive, so Slater doesn't actually lose too much here. Look at this. Oh, Hinshin is just a level ahead.
Yep.
And
this is a full Hinshin. He TP'd back and immediately died. That's disaster for Zeros.
And to be fair, he didn't die before. I think the full Hinshin
True. He has to die first. Yeah, you're right. Again. It's not the full Hinshin. It's the half.
It was a half.
It's the Shinshin.
Half the Shinshin.
Doesn't have the half.
I like
it. So yeah, this will be Yoshino being able to build up a big lead, potentially setting up a freeze.
Yoshino actually went for the freeze and not for the early turret plates. He could have just hard pushed the lane in after Heejin got the kill, because Zeros had no teleport, of course. So
Zeros should be out of break.
I thought... Yeah, I think Yoshino went for the wrong choice. I think Yoshino should have gone for turret plates and reset again to use the turret plates and get an advantage in terms of items. Yeah. He now has a big advantage in terms of experience and also CS. So if the enemy jungler does not come to help Zeros out, I think Yoshino will get out ahead.
That was a very big trade, though, coming out from both sides. Oh, no. Here we go, and bang! The fist comes in, the crocodile goes down again, and Yoshino's saying, I can beat you to death with that bench you put me on, mate. Here we go.
That has to feel so good for Yoshino. Of course, he got benched for Zeros when Zeros came back in the summer, and Yoshino looked like the best top laner in the league when he was playing. And then Zerus came back and kind of overcame Yoshino's reputation. Yoshino played a few games in the mid lane, but Zerus was back to being the best top laner. But now Zerus a little bit rusty still, and Yoshino.
Here we go! Yoshino is here to make. This is why we worship Yoshino instead of Hani. This is why Yoshino is our promised one. Here we go. He's 2-0. He's 15 CS up. Yoshino.
Yeah, who needs the king of top lane if you can have Yoshino?
Saying. I predicted it. I've read the scripture. Not the script, the scripture. The holy books told me this was going to happen.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yep.
The best prediction today, of course. And suddenly Amber's prediction also looking pretty strong with a Flash smashing early game, especially in the top side, of course. So now it's on Levi. Can Levi turn around this matchup in the top lane? I don't actually think.
How did this happen? Look at this. This was just straight up under tower. Levi, he's not having a good series. Is Flash just the kryptonite for Levi? And the triumph as well, if he'd hit by that last turret shot, would have been enough. I don't think so with the triumph. I think he would have survived on about 10 health.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Levi didn't think Yoshino had the damage there. Yoshino with the perfect combo, starting off with E, W, so the guaranteed W hit, of course. If you hit E, you can chain the W into that. So that already brought Levi down to like 200-300 HP. Instant ult for Yoshino to get out of turret range. So he only actually tanked 2 turret shots. One went into the Haymaker, so no damage.
I hate to interrupt you, but I need to alert you to something. Look at mid lane on the scoreboard.
Whoa. What is going on?
I didn't look at mid lane because I didn't think anything would happen. What is happening?
Wait a moment. How? Cardi is out farming
on Nautilus.
Tier 1. What?
Wow. Question mark pings, and Yoshino's going in again. Look at him. How does Zeros fight back? There's Zeros he can do.
Why isn't the counter matchup again? Wow. Yoshino is just dominating. And Yoshino is, of course, Yoshino and Kiaya are like battling for being called the best set in the league. And so far, I think we gave the title over to Kiaya, but Yoshino last time they played against GAM also played a great set game. 4-2, I think he ended in the third game. So Yoshino definitely wants that title for himself. Sadly, so far, his itemization always has let us down. So let's see what he goes for in this game.
Yeah.
Doubles longsword. Not sure what that is going to do.
Oh, the hook to begin it. Carty. And the lantern to dodge the orb. Palette's really low. Needs to be careful clearing that ward. But he does fly away up in the top lane. Yoshino wants another bite at this crocodile. I've had crocodile. It's pretty yummy. He's a little bit aggressive, but the rest of the team's here. I don't think they're going to be able to get him, though. Bit of wasted.
Well, they're forced.
A little bit of over-aggression by Yoshino. He wanted the solo kill, even though the boys were on the way.
But he forced the flash. Yep. Now Zerus has no flash. Once again, Yoshino can look for the solo kill. Last time it looked very easy once he got the flash. It's once again Tiamat. Not my favorite build. I don't think it's your favorite build either. No cooldown early on. So no chance to freeze the lane either. I really don't like early Tiamat, I have to say.
Oh, but we've gone down to the bot lane. Doesn't matter where we are on the map. Yoshino is not letting up.
Just straight up teleported into bot lane, both top laners. I love it. Nice.
This doesn't stop. The observers, I don't speak Vietnamese, nor can I hear them at the moment, but I can guarantee what's happening is exactly what's happening on our cast. One of the Vietnamese casters will try to comment on another lane, and then, it's a brawl in the top lane again. They've gone to the bot lane. Here we go. And here comes the dive. Zeros is just dead. Suplex coming out, so much damage, and kaboom, the punch into the Barbarian's axe. And Yoshino and Yijin link up for another kill. Rift Herald summoned up. Say goodbye to your towers, Gum.
Look at this gold lead. This will be 3K soon.
There's Levi.
Levi.
Gum
is tilted.
Is Levi scared of Flash or something? Is there,
I think so.
A little bit of, hey, Levi, you want to come to Flash next split? Well, you can. You just got to do something for me first. Because he's not looked good this series. And the pause.
So I think what happened here for the pause is the DR1 looked at this other lane and was like, hello, guys.
I think he looked at his own CS. He's actually caught back up. That's not fair. He actually has equalized.
That's actually still something to be confused about for DR1, though. With 20 CS up on average, he's like, hey, how is the enemy mid laner keeping up in CS? What is going on here?
This is quite amazing. What is going on? Absolute scene.
It's the stomp.
Why do we do?
What happened to Levi?
Why do we do analysis? Can we get the analyst time banner?
Okay.
No, God no. Can we get the analyst time banner changed to making it up time? Because the VCS will prove us wrong at every stage. That said, both you and me, I don't know if we said it on broadcast, we definitely said it to each other, backed Yoshino in this one. Even against Zeros.
And this is the hard reality of coming back to pro play for Zeros. He's now not the undisputed king of top lane anymore. The two players he kind of replaced, right? Because Yaya was forced to play mid lane and Yoshino was straight up replaced by Zeros. We're the two second and third best top laners, and they never got the chance to prove themselves against Zeros. So last split, we were like, okay, the three best top laners are on GAM, but Zeros is still the best because we see what he can do against the league, but we never got to see what he can do against the other two.
Exactly.
So now that he has to prove himself against one of the other two, he's looking lost, and it has to feel so satisfying for Yoshino, but it's also very scary for Zeros because if he loses his reputation of being the king of top lane and even the king of Vietnam, can he even get to an LPL team still?
That would be scary. That would be very unfortunate for Zeros if he kind of blows it. And hopefully this pause resolves itself quickly because I can't wait to get back into it. Our first series is delivering. First game maybe had a little bit of lull as GAM played with their food just a little bit. But looks like we're back in game as buttons are being clicked.
Wow. Palette's finger movement is super impressive.
He looks like when I'm playing World of Warcraft and I'm just like pressing random buttons or just strafing side to side constantly to keep my fingers going. And got the full swap has been called. No Rift Herald, so they don't need to commit to it. But based on where sets...
And now look at the Dragon card. This is the direct opposite of the last game, where GAM went on to snowball the dragons. And this time around, it's the two worthless dragons at the start, and we get an Infernal Rift. Infernal Rift set from ahead, very scary.
Yeah, absolutely. All of them are pretty scary. Kai'Sa proccing it with the Q, all of that. It's a bit spooky. There's the dive in from Palette. Oh my God, CBL justifying his paycheck, but it wasn't quite enough. He did absolutely everything, but it is... the dive working for the GAM boys, but here comes the Olaf. He's big. Look at the damage. Levi arrives, but it might be Levi again as it's 3 kills for Yijin. Putting his mark on this jungle.
3 levels ahead in the jungle matchup. It's not healthy. Also, Olaf, once he's ahead, Olaf is an insanely strong champion, of course. So that was... and now he gets a few solo plates. That's also very nice.
He's 5-0.
This is a 5-0 Olaf.
5-0.
He's very scary.
This is...
Yoshino... Yeah. DR1 has no mana. He can't even defend.
Look at the jungle CS.
And this is just free plating. Look at the gold lead. It's 5k. Flash against GAM at 12 minutes is 5k in Flash's favor.
This is...
Yijin just straight up takes 4 turret plates in the top lane.
GAM is getting dismantled.
Yeah, they are. So this only works because they know Slater's ult is not available.
BBL also
so Slater could have
put the lantern in the exact right spot. The shield actually would have saved Slater.
I mean, you still got the shield, because when you click on the lantern, you still get the shield. But yeah, with the ult available, they would have been, it's a 3-level difference. Levi regrets his choices. Oh, man.
Oh.
3-level jungle difference in favor of Yijin over Levi. The man who is known for this 3-level jungle differences on things like Karthus or Nidalee. Yeah, this game is honestly, I can't see GAM coming back from this. They have Renekton, he doesn't scale too well. Lee Sin from behind, utterly useless. Even Syndra from behind is not great.
Oh, there's the catch.
No
Yoshino gets him off the blast cone. And again, another haymaker. He swings it in from the right. And bang, bang, boom. It's another kill for the set. He's 3-0. The Viking, who's 5-0, backed up by the anchor man. They want it. Up goes Levi. Can they finish him off? I don't think so. Bit unlucky. But GAM, once again, forced onto their heels. Sit down, boys, says Flash.
It's a 6k gold lead now. GAM's average is taking a big hit this game. Wow. It's I really don't know what to say anymore. They are just killing them everywhere. They get all the turrets as well. Next dragon will spawn in 2 minutes. We might even get into quicker dragon snowball than the last game, because this dragon will come up at 16 minutes and a few seconds. So potentially a 21-minute stall and a 27-minute Elder Dragon, if we even get to 27 minutes, because right now,
all right.
Yoshino builds.
That's a zeal. There is a zeal in the inventory. I repeat, zeal in the inventory.
Did you forget how to build Trinity?
Maybe he hasn't made. I mean, look, he's really far ahead. He's tanky enough just with a Haymaker shield. Phantom Dancer.
Yeah. I guess it's going to be a Phantom. I've never seen a Phantom Dancer set. Wow. It's new technology, I guess. We'll have to see what he does with it.
If Doidby has dark technologies, what is it when it's a Vietnamese player? Have to think that out.
Guerrilla
technologies.
I don't know.
They're good at that. Like, very proud history.
Yeah. I'd say so too.
Tier 1 is very upset.
Levi,
you don't want to fight this GAM. Yijin is a big, strong boy. But in the end, they disengage because of the numbers. Ooh, Tier 1 doing so much damage to Slater and will get a kill against the Tide.
Yeah, Tier 1 is still Tier 1, so you can get some kills. Now, Yijin does not have his ultimate.
Yeah, this is really bad for Flash. Don't throw this, Flash. Not like last game. Not again. I can't take it. As CBL goes down, they've lost 3 kills for no reason, including a massive shutdown.
And the Dragon as well, of course. So Dragon Snowball is stopped for now, halted. But Yoshino is still here. Can he do anything? He's level 12 against Dia 1's level 11, but there's almost no mana. Nice. Planned, of course. Refills Dia 1's mana bar, so now Yoshino should not try to do anything here. Slater is struggling. Yijin with an over-aggressive positioning there, because his ult was not there anymore, so he thought he was fine just being level 11. But of course, there's still a lot of CC, a lot of damage from Dia 1. Who found the solo kill on Slater.
First item, Randa wins.
So at least. Yeah.
The Randys is
It's interesting. Random seems to have like a renaissance where everyone suddenly wants to build this item out of nowhere. No one built it last patch.
Very strange.
It's interesting to see.
Very
it's a strong item. It's not bad. Especially on Olaf, you can get to the back line. Use the slow from randoms, and no one can get away from you. So I can understand. I can see why you go for this. It's just interesting to see items pop out of nowhere after months and months where no one wanted to build this item. But we have another
fight. The teleport's coming in. Yoshino is arriving. The big Swiss swinging. Big fists. Oh, God, I lost how to talk there. But Flash lost the play as well, so perhaps it's appropriate.
They got the flash out of both bot laner though.
Yep.
So,
Oh, the hook is thrown. It doesn't find anything. Yoshino goes for the big slam. Can he get the big face breaker? He can. Can he get a haymaker on top of it? CBL picks up the first kill. There's a lot of grid on Yoshino, but he can't cash it in. It's 1-for-1, but Yijin, I think, will make it 2-for-1, and Flash comes out ahead. Once again, ooh, Kati, careful boy. Dia 1 is still scary.
So I think this was the first time we actually saw the use of Renekton into set. I think the haymaker was broken.
He didn't cast
so the big shield was prevented.
Cast it.
No?
Because he had full grip when he died.
That's unfortunate then. That is unfortunate. Let's look at this again. Yoshino, of course, with the engage. A lot of damage in the backline, but no haymaker immediately. Usually you want to use haymaker now.
Yeah, no, I think you want to use face breaker now, honestly. But see, yeah,
okay,
he was perma CC'd once his grit started building. It was actually really well played by GAM. Stopped a big haymaker.
Yeah, it's still 2-for-1 for Flash, so they are back at a 4k gold lead. It's way less than it was before, so GAM still has some chances.
Completed in last fight. We didn't comment on it. Phantom Dance is set. All right.
Why?
The Gorilla Tech. It's here.
It is.
To be very clear to everyone, that's Gorilla with a U.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, we're going to have to see. I mean, it's a bit risky, because if this game gets close, you're suddenly really regretting not being a bit tankier.
Yeah, that's true. Yijin is still building. Oh wow, Yijin is actually one of the gold leaders, second highest gold in the game, only behind Yoshino. Yijin is building very tanky, which is of course the build that scales better into the late game. This Olaf will be very scary even later on. If the Olaf falls off, a strong Olaf with a lot of tankiness is still a threat to the backline.
Yep, absolutely.
Especially with renderings, he doesn't die instantly to Blaze's damage.
Down goes the inner tower. So, Shirley should get a charge on the inhib tower as well. They're so zoned off. That's a lot of damage. Well done there for Flash. That's about everything you want out of a second Rift Herald.
So Baron is now alive. Next Dragon spawns in 1 minute. Looking at the Baron damage, it's nice. It's not super great for Flash, but I think it should be enough. They don't have a damaged mid laner, but they have Slater.
Yoshino, he's on the flank. He's going to find something potentially. Paulette dives in, runs away to his wife, but she can't pull the feathers back. Yijin is going to cut him down. Slater finishing him off. Oh no, Flash. Zeros, you're on the wrong side of the tracks, buddy. You're going to get slammed. Set is going to take you to school. Look at all that damage. Oh boy. Flashy, flashy, flash.
So Levi is still alive, but Levi is 2 levels down compared to Olaf, and Olaf has his E-Smite combo. They could actually look for the Baron here.
Yeah.
I think it wouldn't be the worst call to just go for Baron. They have vision advantage here as well.
Hello, Death Bush. No, they back out at just the wrong time. Oh, never mind. Yijin and CBL are still here.
3 seconds too early. That's so unfortunate.
They can still find a catch, but no. They do back away well. Levi hopped over the wall. That saved
so in the end, it doesn't actually do a lot for them. They just got the kills, which is of course nice to have more items on Slater.
Will get this dragon,
Slater, always good.
Threaten the soul.
Yeah, but yeah, the dragon was free for them anyway. Looking at their positioning and their gold, so they didn't actually get too much from this catch. I would have liked to see just a straight turn to Baron. I think they definitely could have gone for that with the level advantage on the jungle and the secure available to Yijin as well. A little bit indecisive there from Flash. They didn't know if they wanted to go for Death Rush or for the Baron Rush.
Lost there. He started the Baron. He just hit it for no reason. Doesn't really matter, but it looks very disjointed.
It does.
Zeros is a little bit tilted.
Low. Yeah, he has not had the greatest game ever. Still keeping up in CS, catching all the waves. But honestly, I'm not sure if you even want to give him waves anymore. This is Renekton. Renekton is not going to do more with more
everything to Dia.
Yeah. And Blazes. You need damage from Blazes. So I think those two are your targets for more CS. Now Slater is building towards AP Kaiser, which I think is to be expected with double AD threats on the top side.
So all the hook lands, Yijin's coming to back it up, the W from Kaiser's landed, and Zeros is now Zeros 5.
Yep, it's an easy kill over to Flash once again. So you were cutting out for me, so sorry if I didn't.
Oh, you missed my pun. I made a good joke.
No, I'm very
sorry. I thought you were just leaving me hanging because it was a pun. So it worked out. Paulette now getting chased down. No hope here. This has to be Baron for Flash.
Yep. Oh, good call for GAM to try to use the time to get at least one objective. Cardi's here to defend, but low on mana. So
didn't quite work.
They have vision on Levi though, so just rush the Baron. What are you doing? Don't stop with these weird shenanigans.
I mean, they're on it now. I think Olaf, Kaiser are the two fastest people for taking it. This is getting a little dangerous. So there's a Zeros teleport. They don't have two of their big damage sources here, but down goes Baron. Flash was too late to start the fight. Whoa! Deal 1 gets out by the hem of Syndra's skirt. Zeros just instantly flashes, and Flash will get away. Ooh, actually, they're not done. Yep, the tag from the W of Kaiser. This is going to be another dead crocodile. And now, to repeat myself from before, he's Zeros 6.
Nice. So, whenever Kaiser can approach a crocodile, just heads up and go melee range into crocodile, you know the game is probably over. That's not supposed to happen. And now it's Baron for Flash as well. Next Dragon in 22 minutes as well. This should be at least one inhibitor. Slater is looking at his 3rd and 4th item once he goes back. He hasn't actually reset, so he's not as strong as he could be.
Yeah. They could walk under tower here. Look at the damage onto Blazers. They're going to try and lock up Yijin, but you can't lock up Olaf for long. Paulette is the one to get suplexed. Yoshino in a lot of trouble here. He gets the haymaker off, but the shield's not big enough. That was a bit of a silly decision, and Flash has to call off the push.
Yoshino learned a little bit too much from his master from last split. That was a very Zeros play.
That he did. And he is... he's had that Spectral Cowl for a very long time. Gonna finish that.
He's not getting too many CS anymore.
Abyssal
Yep,
Mask.
there we go. Yep. Yeah, not Abyssal Mask. Adaptive Found. Abyssal Mask would be very strange on set, to be honest.
I'm glad he didn't go Abyssal Mask. It'd be about as weird as Phantom Dancer.
Yeah, honestly, that's true. So far, the Phantom Dancer hasn't really done anything. By the way, this Adaptive Helm, his first ever cooldown reduction item. So, yay!
Oh, he's going to look better in
finally looking at its shorter cooldown.
He might be able to get 2 shields off.
Yeah, his item choices for set are still a little bit of a mystery to me. Can you please just check pro builds and see what other pros are building? It's
check UGG at this point.
It's weird to me.
Flat up.
Yeah, flat up. Indeed.
Job. As Slater, getting a bit more CS there in the bot lane, has got 3 items to Blazers 2.5. Definitely stronger at the moment.
Yeah.
But Xayah
And
will
stopwatch.
come into her own. The wings will spread.
Right now, Xayah has more single target damage than Slater, but Slater has so much more utility. It was always between those two AD carries. Xayah, in terms of pure single target, in terms of pure tank shredding ability, Xayah is stronger. She has a lot of utility of her own, but she can't reposition as easily. But Kaiser has a lot going for her in terms of non-ADC things, like her assassination potential with ultimate, her repositioning, the shield. So Kaiser and Xayah is always was a very interesting matchup last year, and it still kind of is, because both champs build very different items.
Go to another pause. Bit more anticipation.
Yeah, it's the hype.
Building.
Let's look at the faces for the GAM players. They seem to be
Zeros looks upset.
Pretty calm still.
No, Zeros.
Yeah.
That's the face of a man that's not enjoying this game.
And even DR1 looks a little annoyed.
I think that might be because it's his computer.
Oh, okay.
I can't say I blame him in that case. That would annoy me too.
And Flash very focused, not overly happy or anything. They know they need to get the job done still. They're in a very good position, but they had one big throw already this game and can't repeat that one. What is, if Flash, like we all expect, is able to lock down this game and go 1-1, what do we need to change for game 3 if you're GAM? I think Jaya is probably back in, right? Do you agree?
Yeah, I think he has to be. He played much better. He should. I mean, if he's not back in, if he's not back in, leave GAM. If Zeros can play like this and they don't sub you back in when you're the starting top laner, not fair. It's not fair.
That's a good point. So I think you have to go away from Syndra mid lane as well, especially after seeing that if Flash is able to find a champ that doesn't die to Syndra in mid lane, and try to give Dia one of the more mechanical champs where you can look for solo kills, maybe find him a Lucian or a Tristana again, maybe a Pantheon. He was banned all the time, so it's very unlikely that Flash will lift the ban there. Yeah, I think it has to start with Dia1, but I'd also like to see a little bit more late game scaling for Levi. He seems to not be able to keep up with Legion early on in his pathing, so maybe go to something like in Italy, like Karthus, play for the late game, try to go for a little bit of a different approach, where you avoid Legion and just scale.
Yeah. I have to agree. I'm worried because the one player on GAM who's still looking flawless is Dia. So this isn't over.
He is on a champ that doesn't really offer GAM the opportunity to, or he is on a champ or put on a champ that doesn't offer him the ability to solo carry the game, though, in my opinion, especially in this setup, because he has to face an Olaf and a Kai'Sa. And we saw him delete the Kai'Sa once, where Slater got caught in the mid lane. It's very unlikely that it will happen again, especially now with Kai'Sa building towards the Zhonya's Hourglass. With her ult on level 3, that shield will go up to something like 500, so enough to survive the burst from Syndra. And Syndra into Kai'Sa and Olaf is just very hard to play. So I don't think she has as many tools in this game compared to the last game, where there was no one who could stand up to her, not only because he was very ahead, but also because no one was tanky enough to just run at her, like in this game Olaf is. So it's a different setup. Of course, the one can still find a miraculous place. Syndra can still win fights in the late game, but it's not as easy. It's not the big team fighting like Victor, like
Cassiopeia,
Azir. Cassiopeia, of course, one of his favorites. Honestly, I think if GAM comes back, it has to do a lot with Blaze's performance, because Xayah is super crucial.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Blaze is going to be super important. I'm so annoyed by this pause more than any other pause. This game is so good. I don't want it to be interrupted. I had a great flow.
Yeah,
I was working.
It's also a little bit worrying for Flash, I have to say, because last time the pause ended, they actually entered away a lot of their early gold lead and prolonged the game. Gave up a dragon. So that happened right after the pause, if I remember correctly. So Flash needs to keep focus, or keep their focus and stay concentrated now on the pause, because it's always easier to play from, or almost always easier to play from behind, where you don't have the pressure. Especially now in this position, GAM probably knows 80% of games, or even more, even 90% of games you lose. So you just look for the mistake for the enemy, and maybe look for certain item power spikes where you can strike as well. But it's very unlikely for GAM to win this game. So they can sit back a little bit, think about potential ways they could attack, and maybe think about the next game. Where Flash still has to super hard focus on this game to not slip up, to still bring this home.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. Please get back into game. I can't do. I'm on. I want to help you with your analysis, but I'm on too much of this adrenaline rush. The kick. I want to keep it going. Don't make me calm down. Don't make me switch. You've got two very different sections of your brain. You've got your analytical half and you've got your popping off about set half. And I don't want to switch back over.
Yeah, I can. That shouldn't happen as well. I'm here for the other half, but I'm also very excited. So there's a little analysis going on in this game, a lot of hype, but that's of course the way we like it. Yoshino, come on, get the game going. What is going on here?
Oh, come on! Someone tell us if we know what's going on, so we can at least figure something out.
So there were some tech issues before the game started. That was one of the reasons why the pause was this long between the games. We had like 5 extra minutes of pause because of client issues. Client issues shouldn't really matter in-game though, so it has to be something different. Zeros looks at a screen and realizes his score looks a lot like Worlds.
I think he's looking at it and saying, huh, weird. I thought the Rift was grey.
But there we go. And
we are back
in the game, and Soul is picked up for Flash. So now even more damage on their side.
Yeah, God, that's something important to miss during the pause. Infernal Soul secured. That's going to make Blazers. Your life is about to be very difficult, my friend, and you've got to have a damn good life. He's got a lot of work to do on this Zaya.
And Diaz as well. Diaz still not gone down this game. No, not a single death the whole series. First game was 809, now 302. So we're looking at doubles with no death in between. Perfect score so far for Dia 1, but he probably has to give up at least one or concede one death if Flash is going to win this game. So only way to keep the dream alive for a perfect series for Dia 1 is to win this game.
Yeah.
So there we have a very good motivation for him to carry this one.
Yeah, I mean...
And we've seen ridiculous carry performances already.
Absolutely. But as this game goes on, obviously we've been focusing on the Viking, who 7-1-3 from Yejin. What a boy. But as the game goes on, the tank is building. Yoshino wants another one onto Zeros. I don't think he wants to invest an ult or anything, but the Haymaker hits, and Zeros is sent back to base with his tail between his legs. But as I was saying, as the game goes on, Set and Olaf, they're getting tanky. Nautilus, he's getting tanky. How do you kill Slater?
Yeah, that's it's a very cool setup for Slater because Flash needed to dominate the top side for the first half of the game, and now they are all building into tank and giving Slater the opportunity to carry the back half of the game, which he should be able to do. He's looking at a very strong item setup right now, working on his 4th item, 3-item power spike for always was the strongest point for her, and afterwards she goes for utility items like Zhonya's that improved the DPS, but not by much. Honestly, the difference between Zhonya's and no Zhonya's on Slater is very slim in terms of damage.
Yeah,
but it's of course a big utility advantage.
Absolutely. Make sure that he can deal that damage. Just as crucial as having it. Baron has 4.
Honestly is in shield scaling.
And
yeah, the shield scales well on AP.
This is a very short life.
Here we go. This should be a free. What did Yejin do? Why?
He popped the blast cone. I think that he should have popped it into the pit. But
yeah, he should have popped over into the pit.
I think that was just a mistake.
Yeah, that was a little silly.
Baron on 5,000 health. Levi is here. Taking a 50-50.
You should be confident to secure this one, Flash. It's not a 50-50 though.
Well,
he's 2 levels up and has his E available.
And they've buffed.
They've
backed off. I actually like this call. They backed off to take the inhibitor.
Yep.
Gam caught sleeping.
Dia still hasn't channeled his recall. Started his recall. So this should be an inhibitor here.
Gam absolutely caught sleeping. That was real. I like that call a lot. I don't know if they can get the actual inhib.
Yeah, still not a bait.
They can't get the actual inhib, but they got the tower, and they're going to get 2 inhib towers. That's what you use Baron for. Clever. The hook onto Zeros. That crocodile is dead, and Yoshino uses him. I just wanted to get over the wall, mate. Too easy. He's gone. The inhib will fall. Flash is here to stay in this game.
Yeah. And finally, a super decisive call for Flash, which I liked a lot. They saw the opportunity, they fished for grabs, and immediately after the grab landed, everyone piled on top of Zeros. Easy kill. He had Flash available, but no chance to use the Flash. Perfect CC layering there. So now it's double inhibitor. They should be able to collect the Baron on the backside, and then they have Elder Dragon spawning in 2 minutes. I'm not sure if they even need to use that one, because they can still easily just go to top lane and secure the third inhibitor of the game.
Yep, absolutely.
Here we go. This should be a very eady Baron pickup for Legion.
Yep, especially with the zoning here. I like the decision from Cardi just to play zone, stop it being the 65, 40, 35. Oh no, he flashed over the lantern. He goes down, but they keep 4 Baron buffs. They'll take that. In Elder Dragon in a minute and a half. Maybe Flash wants to do a couple doughies again to make up for GAM doing it to them last game. Show off a little bit.
I think the Elder Dragon is probably where they want to end the game. Especially with Karti going down, it's not actually that useful to just push in top lane now. Looking at the Baron will still persist 1 minute after the Elder Dragon goes down, so you can still snowball Baron Elder into topside. You have 2 inhibitors already, so Baron actually doesn't do a whole lot for them. They don't need the extra sieging power to knock down the base. They can also just use Elder Dragon and then run in mid lane, because inhibitor is down already. So yeah, I think highest priority objective for Flash right now on the map is the Elder Dragon, and Yoshi is looking for a very deep flank.
Yeah, he is. He's deep in the guts here. Find something, it'd be pretty strong, but GAM knows where he is.
He's spotted, though. Yeah, GAM pinged him out, even though they had no vision on him.
Yeah, they sniffed it.
Very interesting.
Must have seen him enter from somewhere. Maybe he cleared a ward. I think he would have cleared a ward.
And that is
sleeper.
Wait, what? Blazes went down. Wait, how? Blazes just died. I think to Infernal Soul. Wait, what? I think he was out. Blazes thought the same. He had the Flash available still. Yeah, I think
the curious case of the disappearing Blazes. Pauline Sherlock.
Yeah, I was completely caught off guard there. I didn't see how he...
We need a replay.
Well, yeah, we really need to replay here. So Slater actually adapted his build in a very smart way. He went for Oblivion Orb, which you don't ever see on this champion. But of course, if you have 1.6k gold, it doesn't really make sense to go for a needlessly large rod, especially if you expect the game to end on the next team fight. So go for the strongest possible item, and that is flat penetration.
And then he gets the last engage here. Look at all this damage onto the GAM backline. Zeros, as he has so many times, will be the first one to die here. And CBL hits a hook directly onto Levi, who goes golden. GAM actually turning this fight around, but Slater's too healthy. The Nexus will be falling in. Oh, goodbye, good night. And Flash is taking us to game 3 in an emphatic fashion.
What a stomp, honestly. Wow. Flash showing us that GAM can indeed bleed and lose an early game twice in a row. And this game, they won the early game by much more. Flash, that is, of course. And GAM had no chance. They found one good engagement.
Oh, nice. We've got a replay. I'm going to come back. Let's get a replay here. What? Oh, he just ulted forward. What?
No, but
there's the Feather Storm.
It's another W.
It's a snipe.
The W cooldown.
No, what?
What happened there? What?
I'm going to scroll our stream back. I need to watch that again. What just happened?
Where did the damage come from? What? I don't understand.
What procced it?
So there's a Q. There's nothing happening right now. He's very far away.
I'm a little bit
either.
Still waiting because Chip's hard. I forget the hotkeys.
But why? I don't understand.
I need to see. I'm trying to get to where it is. Oh, where is it in the broadcast? Come on. I'm not dumb.
J and L are the hotkeys.
L. Thank you. There's Flash winning the game, so I need this replay. There it is. Okay, so he goes into the Feather Storm. There's 4 stacks of the passive. What triggers it?
Yeah, nothing.
Does Slater have an item on him that's dealing damage? What's Slater's build at the end? Oh, okay, it's a visual bug. All right, it's a visual bug. It was a W.
Oh, okay, it was
a W.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Oh, I was worried.
A lot more sense. Okay, there was a W. I thought so. Looking at the positioning, and Slater also casted something there. So yeah,
it was.
I thought so. Yeah.
Thank you,
it was
detectives.
Just not
it was a W.
So no one blocked it. That's a big mistake for Levi. Levi was in position to block this one.
Yeah.
Wow. Slater just assassinating the enemy ADC there. They gave them the free Elder Dragon. I think the Elder Dragon would have been free potentially anyway, but it's still in the end it locked down the game, and Flash beating GAM in dominant fashion here. They took a little bit longer than they should have probably, but wow.
We have to pick an MVP.
Wow.
A little bit hard because I think the gut reaction is wrong. Is it Yoshino for making it a 4v5? Is it Slater for being the late game beast? Is it Yijin for going off?
Yeah,
it could be any.
One of the three. As the CBL also had a good game.
Is it Zeroth for making sure Flash was ahead?
Yeah. What actually won the game, we have to ask, because all of those players look good at different stages of the game. I don't think
it's Slater because he was enabled by the other two.
No, I agree with that. In my opinion, Slater played a good game, but he didn't need he didn't really win the game. He was there to collect the kills and deal the damage, but he was not the player that won the game. For me, it is Yoshino.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because I agree, but I was scared I was biased because it was Yoshino on set.
Even though the last 10 minutes weren't too impressive and his item build and his build choice was a little bit weird, he was the one that blew open the game, that got the big advantage, and that ultimately was the reason why Flash won this game, not the late game team fights. There was a big advantage, and if there's a big advantage, I think you have to look at the early game, and the carry of the early game was Yoshino. So, yeah, I think it's Yoshino.
All right. And with that decision, we'll be back in... Oops, sorry, you can see the timer on screen. Just getting that started. Sorry about that. Put it up over Yulwei's face. Never mean to do that. But that is the 5 minutes, as you could see me set there, until we come back to see if Flash can beat GAM 2-0 and nick the crown right off their head. We'll be back in just a little bit. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you very soon.
Stay tuned. It's going to be even more hype.
Absolutely. Welcome back, everybody, to the Church of Yoshino. I am Pastor Everyway, and with me is good Bishop Yulwei. We've come to spread the good word of the top lane. You can pick a big, buff, punchy man, and truly, that will smite the demons of GAM. They've done it. They've brought us to Game 3, and they've got the momentum.
Now he's back to red side. Yeah, and he's back to red side. I want to see last pick, counter pick Yoshino, run away with Game 3, carry Flash to a 2-0 regular season against GAM. And now Yoshino on the official MVP ranking is tied up Dia 1 and Celebrity, so that's very, very exciting for him as well. If they win this one, Yoshino will be very excited, probably gets interviewed as well. So if you know Vietnamese, or if you are interested in what he said, come to our Discord and ask a few of the Vietnamese people there to maybe tell you what you told the interviewing viewer.
Would be always fun, as we do wait.
Also, just come there for cool discussions and of course our prediction game.
We have good banter. We always love the Discord's great. Scroll down below the stream. Also, while you're there, why not subscribe to our Patreon? We need it to eat, because food is really delicious. You can also subscribe with Twitch Prime or just with money. Because again, I like food.
Food is great.
Yeah. But, of course, never feel pressure.
You can actually buy some.
Yeah. Ooh, I could get a mic.
It's a little bit of a problem.
Imagine.
So Zeros is still in,
yep.
And we will head right into pick and bans for Game 3.
Ooh,
no
wow,
time
we're
wasted
flying
here.
In. Here we go.
Yep. I think they just want to get the time back for all the pauses, because it's getting late already, or not yet, but the second series could be a 3-game series as well, so we might look at a long day again, but of course we are super happy to bring you these long days with games like that.
Eros is still in. That's so
that's
harsh.
super surprising to me. Olaf banned as well. GAM
they banned
for the
it
first
in game
time.
1, I think. Or did they?
Yeah. No. Blitzcrank, Kalista, and Aphelios.
So Splash banned it in game 1. It was banned. I think it was banned in second round. Not sure.
Yeah, maybe. The first round bans were always the same for GAM. This time around they changed it up because Yijin dominated on Olaf. Of course, Yoshino also hard smash top lane. So what can Zeros do to not lose the top lane matchup? Will he go to first pick set?
Definitely could.
Does Yoshino have an answer into set?
I mean, Fiora.
Blitzcrank for the first time open for CBL.
Fiora could be picked. I think the Blitzcrank might be a bait. I don't think it's as impactful as Thresh, so I'm actually pretty happy with GAM banning it away. Aphelios, do they trade Aphelios for set? No, they opt not to.
For what? No, set is banned.
What will their first pick be? Aphelios for Blazers? He's played it a few times.
It's likely, but MF is still open, Xayah is still open, so Aphelios, he's potentially still the strongest ADC left available, but MF is no slouch either, and Slade is champion who can punish Aphelios as well, so I don't think Team Flash is too unhappy with this Aphelios pick. We can see Aphelios 66% win rate almost, so very successful so far. Team Flash might just go to Xayah or Rakan immediately to not show solo lanes early on.
Smart boy here,
Xayah.
Xayah Hubba is in.
Xayah and Jungle is another
option, yeah.
Potential first round.
I wouldn't mind the solo lanes being hidden. Get as many counter picks as possible. Then again...
Also go Nautilus, Nautilus. Nautilus is another good choice for another flex option.
I am just going to throw to a pause, the pause screen. We're not going anywhere. I forgot to reset my stream after we tried to find that clip. So I'm a little bit behind. I'm going to fix that. 2 seconds. Just continue rating.
So it's Nautilus locked in for Flash, and as the second pick, R2 is Nautilus, which of course can be flexed still. They flexed it last game. So GAM this time will not be surprised by the flex, and GAM is once again hovering Rek'Sai. They won the first game on Rek'Sai. Of course, Levi didn't have the greatest amount of impact, but still slightly outperformed Yijin, I'd say, in game 1. So
I don't know if I agree on that. I think he got there because of his team.
Yeah, Yijin wasn't great in game 1 either. I think both junglers looked a little lost in the first game. It's hard to say who had a better game. But now also the Braum hover for Braum Aphelios. Very defensive bot lane. Not a lot of engage for the GAM so far. They might need to go into engage options in the top lane. So something like On is still available, of course. Could be a pick here.
Italy.
And Italy for
Yijin throws down.
Right.
He's gone for the farming jungler. He wants the carry performance.
Yeah, and as we predicted, the first 3 picks for Flash, they don't reveal solo laners, so it makes a lot of sense. Red said very counter pick focused strategy here, and I think last pick should definitely be reserved for
Look
Yoshino,
at that win rate.
To just wait out the top lane matchup.
Yijin has not lost on the champion.
Yep. Yijin is a very good Italy player. 4 games, 4 wins. It's not the biggest sample size, and Flash is a good team, so you expect them to win the most of the games. But they're actually only sitting on something like a 62% win rate or something. So 100% is still way higher than the average win rate for Flash. But that means he's very successful on this channel.
Silas is the ban here. Interesting. Dia1 has had a few pop-off performances on it. As Dia's target pool, and there is the Fiora ban. They respect Yoshino and say, we cannot let that part of the prophecy come true.
Yeah, very smart ban, of course. I think what Flash wanted to accomplish with this Silas ban was to force Dia1 on a very squishy, maybe even backline immobile carry. Because even though Dia1 is still incredible on Syndra and the likes, you can just looking at the champions. Oh no! Why?
This puts Cardi. He's forced to play AD. I don't like this Mordekaiser pick.
I hate it. What? Why did you give up the counter pick? Oh yes. Oh yes.
Okie dokie.
Third time.
Dia1 Galio.
I wanted to see the Janna top.
Oh yeah, the Janna top would have been very funny. Would have butchered.
So Galio is not great. So this is a good lane to pick something very aggressive into as Cardi. Maybe you can even put Yoshino in the mid lane and try to force Yoshino against Dia1 because Galio.
Oh no, they're going back to Nautilus.
Stops melee. Yeah, seems like that's the way they want to go.
So Slater, do you have your boots laced up, son? Because you're dealing all the damage.
Yeah. So this game, it's triple AP topside. Not great for Flash. You can spam that emote if you like. But of course, triple AP topside means that Heejin is probably not looking for ganks on the top side too much. Usually, Heejin actually gets off to a good start with top lane gank. That's the most. In most of his Nidalee ganks, he just goes for an early top lane gank, gets 1 or 2 kills, and then snowballs the game with Dark Harvest, whatever he wants to go for. Very strong on the Nidalee on average. But now, I mean, you can still go for a gank early on. Aatrox is not going to have like millions of MR, so you can still get a kill. I'm not too happy with Flash draft. I think they had a lot more potential here. They could have heavily outdrafted GAM. This way, it's more an even draft where I slightly favor GAM, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big problem here for Flash is that there's just only one damage source. That's a struggle. Only going to be Xayah dealing real teamfight damage.
Yeah, I think Xayah can do that. You can play through the Xayah, especially with Nidalee as a setup, and also Nidalee Seal still gives attack speed, so it's a buff to Xayah as well. She can go hyper carry mode, especially on Slater. The range problem might be a big issue here for the Xayah because she runs into Galio, and Galio is very good against low range ADCs because of his W. He can threaten the taunt, of course. So Slater then has to kite and loses DPS. So Blazes can just stay in the backline, protected by Palette, maybe even by Dia1 to a certain extent, and then deal more damage than Slater, even if Slater maybe plays it better. So that's a problem for Flash.
Gets the ward. You love to see it.
Yeah.
Deny a little bit of vision. The early victory. That gold has put them ahead. 30 gold lead for Flash. Another spear lands. He's got great accuracy so far. He's looking hot.
Yeah, it's a very good champ for Heejin. So it's definitely not about can Heejin perform on the Nidalee. It's more about can Nidalee be useful enough to win the game? Because Nidalee, of course, she's another one of those very hard to assess champs, especially when it comes to scaling. Usually, you'd say Nidalee scales badly. She kind of does, but if she gets ahead, she's a very big threat to the enemy backline as well, and can look for poke as well. So the champ changes its configuration or its outlook on the game depending on how many kills it gets. Yep. You can also adapt build path, so it's another interesting champ to follow. I don't think it's as easy as to say literally just hard falls off after like 10 minutes or 15 minutes.
Sorry. Bit of my childhood coming back there. Love the Transformers. But yeah, you're completely right. Depending on how Yijin's early mid-game go, he will adapt his build, whether he...
Transformers?
Sorry?
Did you just say love the Transformers?
Yeah, the cartoon, not the movies.
Okay. I thought...
Don't lose respect for me that quick. The cartoons were great. The movies... Okay. The movies were fun to watch if you just wanted to watch robots punch each other.
My God, the movie is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Really bad. I've only seen the first two, and there's like 6 of them.
Yeah. Of course there is.
We do have a bit of a brawl in the mid lane, but it's 2 tanks. So
tanks.
The wet noodle fight is in full effect, and Zeros is in control of this lane. Finally.
It's the AP tanks fighting against each other. So they look at each other and say, "Ha! This time it's not a wet noodle fight. It's actually the noodle is a little bit more al dente this time, I guess. So it's a little bit more damage on both sides. But yeah, it's still not a lot of damage. But look at the gold lead and the CS lead for Zeros.
No. I know the stream quality dropped. Oh, it fixed itself. Never mind, because I wasn't going to fix it when the dive was coming. Good TP by Cardi. Wards off the early GAM play. Not great for his lane. Ooh, particularly when his recall gets interrupted. Okay. Hello. Chains on chains on chains. Because he got pulled back.
Oh, Yijin missed. That was a free kill for Yijin if he hit the Q.
Yeah, I think so. He had the burst.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, definitely. At least the Dark Harvest deck, I think he could have gotten the kill, especially with Zero's very aggressive positioning. That's a very unfortunate start for Flash. They used the TP top to prevent the dive, which is... it's actually not that much lost, because DR1 invested a lot of time to get top as well, so... kind of TP for roam trade, which means there's a little bit of an advantage for Kati immediately in terms of CS, but now equalized because DR1 got to lane quicker. And now DR1 has 1 cheater recall available to him.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a big brawl.
Hasn't kicked off for me yet, so considerably ahead, because this is very slow at the moment. What's going on with our sync?
No. I think I just overhyped the one little engagement in the bot lane. So not actually a big brawl. I lied. I'm sorry. Actually, one of the best lane combinations in terms of weapons for Blazes on the affiliates is purple blue. So Infernum and Gravitum, of course. So you use Infernum Q to apply Gravitum stacks, and that's very easy, easy to hit way to apply the slow mark, and of course also the root. So that's what he did there, and slowed and rooted everyone on the other side.
And he did.
Combination we don't really see too often, but I think especially in lane it's pretty strong.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great for poke. You land 1 auto on a support and it can splash onto the carry.
That too, yeah.
Poke damage. Very strong.
Failures.
What will the first point of pressure be? Both teams are tense. This is a big, big game.
Yeah, it is. So Yoshino so far has been losing in CS to Zeros. Zeros also with the early priority. And
this is a bit of a brawl down in the bot lane. Stuns might be able to be chained. But no, CBL does well and protects Slater and they get out. But it's more dominance in lane. Levi comes in on Cardi. Nautilus insta-flashing away. Vulnerable to games now.
By the way, it's I have to revisit my earlier statement about the noodle fight. They are pretty bad if you look at the masteries, because it's aftershock against aftershock. So in the end, they are still tanks. Bot lane is actually a big problem.
Levi and Yijin having a brawl. Carti with priority. The spear doesn't hit, and Levi swims away. A little bit lucky, but Yijin's in the vicinity. If GAM gets aggressive down bot, they get a tower plate. It's not going very well for Slater.
No, it really is not going well. He's getting pushed in by this lane. It's pretty much Blazes only. So Palette can't really contribute too much to the push. When you play a melee support, whenever you get pushed, you're kind of useless. You're just standing there and trying to prevent the enemy counter engage. Because there's not a whole lot you can do as a melee support under turret, especially early on. You can't look for the dive. It's much more about Blazes. So Blaze is showing his great understanding of how to play lane on Aphelios. Just hard smashing Slater through, especially I'd say the advantage in terms of range.
Yeah.
Which, of course, Aphelios has.
Of course he does. Up in the top lane, very, very even.
70 CS to 45. Holy
yeah,
moly.
this bot lane's going very badly. Yijin needs to go down there and do something. First dragon, also to GAM. 600 gold lead already for Blazers. That can't really happen. Slater needs to be good this game.
Yeah, Slater is the one player that is definitely in favor of Flash if you just look at player skill. So it's it's not a good sign when Blazes outperforms Slater in the bot lane. He needs to be the main carry against GAM for Flash. Of course, you can also hope for Yijin and Yoshino to outperform, but on a consistent basis, it should be Slater.
He's a bit caught. Palette wants to proc the stun. Heroic Entrance does not get the knock up, and the kitty's pretty quick. So they're out, but the flash into the taunt. You can't flash taunt, but you can still do it like that. And first blood to Dia1. He shows why we think he's the best player in the league.
Yeah. Great awareness for Dia1. Looked like the engagement was over, but Dia1 saw the opportunity to look for another kill. Actually didn't hit Yijin with the taunt, which was his primary target, but then they just turned on Cardi, and Cardi with the Aftershock, of course, is still not a super tanky boy. So easy kill for Dia1, and now look at the gold lead. All the objectives going over to GAM. This is more of the usual GAM dominance in the top layer in the early game. 1k gold lead, and this will be potentially even the whole turret falling, with a lot of GAM members in the vicinity.
Yeah, Yoshino in so much trouble. Does have the Death Realm, and I tell a lie, as he does have reinforcements here. He should be okay. Can they defend this tower plate? I think they can.
The turret is still super annoying.
Blazers gets the tower plate because...
Oh, he gets it solo. That's very nice for GAM. They still, of course, also have the Rift Herald, so let's look at this again. Palette, super aggressive, exhaust and flash on top of Yijin. Heroic entrance. Yijin on the last millisecond gets out of there. Now look at the Dia1. Flash taunt, not quite in range to get Yijin, but of course they just turn on Cardi, and there we go. Easy kill. Over to the tanky mid laner, this time for GAM. It's very interesting to me that Dia1 would practice something like Galio.
Yeah.
Because it really is not his style of champ. If you can even say he has a style of champ, because so far he's looked great in anything he played.
He can, everything he touches turns to gold. It's ridiculous.
It reminds me a lot of Faker 2017 at Worlds, where he was a legendary Galio player, of course, and he was pretty much hard carrying his team. So from the outside, it would have been weird to say the hard carry of the team always plays Galio. But he did so through great roams and facilitating his other laners. So if GAM has another page in the playbook with the Galio, it's great.
Carti caught out. Does he have the Spider Nort ready? No, he goes down again. CBL's getting caught as well. CBL. And GAM is back. They're happy to lose one game, but they'll never lose two. Oh, it's going wrong. And the Infernamult will send him to the grave for 200 years. Oh.
Yep. Was Gravitumult though, but still killed him.
My bad.
Yeah, it didn't really make a difference because the impact damage killed him anyway, so you didn't need the Infernum splash.
Good spear onto Levi.
Red right now. How did that hit? Minions betraying Levi there.
Yeah.
Big lead for GAM already. 2.5k at 11 minutes, trying to up the average again. 50 minutes is at roughly 3k on average for GAM. And last game, they were 6k down. So they need to have another breakout performance here to get their average back to their usual selves, or to the usual number.
The Rexile getting so much value, making that Spider Nort not mean anything.
Yeah, Levi is on the same level as Cardi.
Yeah.
So he's a super strong Rexile right now.
CBL wanted to save his mid laner, but fortunately, no real chance of that.
CBL really wanted to go over the wall, but he didn't want to go straight into Palette because he saw him approaching. So he tried to go for the angle where he could go over the wall and far enough away from Blazes, from Palette, so he could go through the base gate back into his base and escape. Sadly, he didn't quite find the angle and just jumped straight into Blazes again. So that didn't work out for him. I think the chances of him escaping there were very slim. So nice to see him trying to find the cool little outplay, but in the end, not quite successful.
So, positives to look at for Flash. Slater has caught up in CS and in fact has a very slight lead. So the AD carries have been mostly brought back together. Yijin...
That's actually absurd.
Yijin is caught up in farm. Isn't great on Nidalee. You'd hope to be ahead, but it's better than being behind. That's about it for the positives.
Yep. Yeah, it is. It's actually very, very insane that Slater has been able to get back to almost a good CS number, even regardless of being behind early. He's 113 CS at 30 minutes. So that's not bad. It's not super great, but it's also not bad. So Blazes just completely gave up CSing for the last
he'd rather
2, 3, 4 minutes
at this point.
Yeah, I mean, which is fair. I don't want to blame him here. I think he did the right thing, but it's still quite impressive to see how Slater was able to just completely go PvE mode and collect every single CS.
The dragon is secured, but the fight's going to kick off. Cardi has initiated it. There's some low health bars on GAM. This could be big. Yijin's got to go huge, chunk down to half. CBL taking a lot. Blazes is uncontested. Zeros picks up the first kill. Can they at least find something? Flash, anything at all? No. GAM. No. How does it keep happening?
Another dragon. Well, Flash shouldn't have fought there. I think that was ill-advised. And now the game is very much in favor of GAM, 4k gold, and the turret will fall as well. So this is first turret, even more gold induced. So they will go up to 5k now. 5k at 40 minutes. Number game, of course. So the engage wasn't as good as it looked like. Yijin didn't get knocked up, so the start actually looks solid for Flash, but then Slater can't really hit anyone. Look at Slater, he can only hit DR1, and he has the damage reduction with W and also his Aftershock, so Slater didn't deal any damage. First kill over on CBL, who's super squishy. Yoshino doesn't really threaten DR1 in the Death Realm, so as soon as he gets out, easy kill, and Yijin also goes down, so... Well, we sadly look at a not so close third game, but I mean we have to think back to the first series where the two teams met. GAM dominated the early game, not quite as hard as they did this game, but they dominated the early game and then threw away everything at the Baron at 23 minutes, 24 minutes. So that's still possible.
Yeah, it is absolutely possible. Later, it's all in your pockets, man. And you've got to dig deep. Ugh.
Yeah, he still hasn't built a single item yet, so he's still very, very far away from being able to carry this game. It doesn't look great. No item finished at 16 minutes is quite late for an ADC.
Yeah.
140 CS is okay, but it's not great. And the second item is already built, or already in the making, I should say, for Blazes. Also, I want to point now that we have a little bit of a lull state, I want to quickly draw your attention to Blazes' rune choice. That's a little bit unusual. We don't really see lethal tempo Aphelios too often. I think enables him to go for IE second item even more. Usually we see a lot of Aphelios go for second item rune rounds for a little bit more team fighting utility and also being able to cycle through weapons a little bit quicker. But with lethal tempo, he gets the same build as the enemy ADC because of course Slater goes lethal tempo on Zarya every time. So I think this is a little bit just a very good adaptation to the game state and also to the enemy ADC.
Yep.
I want to go for the same items, and if I get ahead, I have a big advantage. Smart adaptation.
Yeah, I think that's quite smart from Blazers. Zeros and Yoshino 1v1ing. Yoshino saying, well, if I can't take down your team, I'll at least take down you. But nope, Zeros says, oh, sorry, man, I don't really care, and just flashes away.
Yep. Wow, look at how far away he got in like a matter of seconds. That is Aatrox speed. So Zeros at least Yoshino seems to be able to win 1v1 fights, which doesn't really do anything for Flash, to be honest, but it's at least nice to see for Yoshino personally.
There's another tower falling. It's one tower for Flash in the bot lane that is keeping this from being a perfect game. It's brutal. GAM. They're just so good. They're this good.
Yep, they are. They are. So can DR1 finish this series with only one death? He died at the end of the last game, of course. No death before that. No death in game 1. No death so far in game 3. So he could go up to something like a 30, maybe even 40 KDA if they get more kills in this game. That's the biggest challenge for GAM here. Yeah, this game is sadly snowballing more and more into the favor of GAM. And not sadly because I'm biased for Flash, but sadly because I want to see a close series, of course. If GAM is the better team, they deserve to win, but it would be nice to see a closer affair. Sneak Dragon.
Yeah, they're going to try and get it. It might not be sneaky enough, though. Going low, Levi cannot steal it. He's actually now in a bad position, but Heroic Entrance makes it a good position. Yoshino survives for a long time. But Flash, you got an Ocean Drake, but you're going to pay for it with your souls, it would seem. As down goes Carty. The rest should be able to get away. So, no, DR1 says, no way! Slater has to flash. Blazers and Levi are on the flank, but there's no CC. Gun for Blazers, so they're okay. But GAM is continuing to just stomp this one.
Yeah. 2 more kills. Flash at least prevented... Okay, they already got a turret, so no perfect game for GAM anyway, but this delays Dragon Soul, and it's an important Dragon Soul, so I make the argument if you can get out cleanly, it's a very good call to make. Sadly, they got caught before they could finish the Dragon, so they lost 2 members. It might actually be worth it, especially if they can slow down the game afterwards to delay the Dragon by 5 more minutes and at least be able to prolong the game, because if GAM gets to Ocean Soul early on in this game, it's even more over than it already is, so... I think this is a fine call to make. It looks very bad in hindsight, of course, because they all die here, or at least 2 members die. But they got the Baron, their Dragon. So, yeah, I can understand where Flash is coming from.
Yeah, I agree. I think they had to go for something. But in the end, GAM with too much of a lead. This is... Can Flash get back into this? 7k at 20 minutes is damn not a good situation.
Nope, it's really not. And almost 2 items for Blazes, so now the Baron threat is getting bigger and bigger because it's of course a failure. So you can 2-man Baron. You have Aatrox on 2 items, Rexa on 2 items, so those 2 can tank forever. Even Gallia could tank the Baron here. So yeah, Blazes also now... Oh, wow, he might actually be setting up the Baron right now. He's... on Crescendum and is just cycling through his ammo. So
are we going to see the Boros guns?
That's of course red and white, so Severum and Crescendum, and that combination is perfect to take for taking Baron, because you can stack all these little chakrams utilizing the Q from the Severum, where you attack a lot, and you get 1 stack for every attack. Then you change to white Crescendum and deal a lot of extra damage. You stand very close to Baron and deal insane amounts of DPS. Then whenever the Q's back up of cooldown, you will change over to Severum again, stack more chakrams, and I think after 2 rounds of chakram stacking, you stay with a white gun to just have as much damage as possible. That's usually what we see.
Yijin throwing spears that are going oh no. Levi's just staying there to put on a dodging clinic. And oh no. Flash, they can't get anything. They can't even get damage down.
Nope. Very interesting build for Levi. Very tanky. Except that his fate is only a facilitator and tank in this team. He's not the main carry anymore, so he went for a tanky build, which is something we don't really see too often on Rek'Sai these days. But against triple AP topside and behind ADC, it makes a lot of sense to build an early MR item.
Ooh, CBL takes a lot of damage. Yoshino's in the backline, has Blazes in the Death Realm, but can't find anything. Had to flash away in his own realm.
Wait.
He's going to go down. CBL, Slater will fall. The spear won't even get the consolation kill. And
so close.
I think GAM wants to stay in first. Oh, no, he does manage to get the consolation kill. Well done, Yijin. Proud of you, buddy. Ooh, might be able to get another one. No, he misses another spear. Not hitting these. And
I mean, he hit the one, so he didn't really miss.
Okay. All right.
His primary target. Yeah, he missed his primary target. You're correct. GAM wins another team fight. Not enough to get the Baron, of course, because Blazes died. I really don't understand what Yoshino was doing in this fight. She flashed away from his target, even though Blazes was actually pretty low in the fight. I think he could have tried to kill Blazes there.
I don't know why he flashed. I think it was a panic.
Yeah, he flashed in a very weird direction as well. Let's look at Yoshino as well. Again, I should say. So Yoshino teleports in, double teleport, triple teleport. Look,
flash forward.
Kati teleports like one. Yeah.
I think, you know what happened there? He thought Blazes flashed that way.
Yeah, I think so too. Which is weird, because can't he see the other side of the death roll? I guess not.
Apparently not.
Yeah. He got trolled. Nice. Blaze is actually very lucky there, because I think he definitely wanted to flash after him, but choose the wrong direction to flash, on the wrong side to flash.
Yep.
That's unfortunate.
And GAM trying it again. Flash has a good flank, but Slater left completely alone. CBL has to just run. They do pick up Blazes. At the very least, they get to watch Aphelios die. Paulette might go down as well. He's pretty low. But Yoshino, it doesn't matter. The winds of war are blowing for Yoshino. And truly, the pipes are calling for him.
Dia one with another one.
And Yijin, once again, is wondering where the hell his team is as he hops away.
And look at how far this chase has gone. They started at Dragon Pit and ended behind the secondary top lane turret. That was a fight over the whole map. Also, the rest of the fight, actually, the fight dragged on for the other side as well, where CBL and Levi went to the bot lane because CBL tried to escape from Levi and Levi chased him there. So this was a fight over the whole map. We went from bot lane, let's say outer turret, to top lane inner turret, and the fight, continued forever. But in the end, GAM just dominated it once again. Can Zeros die here?
Possibly. Baron is still spitting. Can he do a Neebster? I don't think so. Even forever in our hearts.
Oh. Yep. But there we go. Zeros gets out, and that's another. I guess he used his ult, so it's still a little bit of a victory there for Flash, but they really wanted the skill. Now Dia 1.
Yep, Dia 1.
He is 308. He
he's turning it though. He knows he's tanking enough for the team to get here. He blows the engine up. Can Yoshino get the consolation kill? I don't think they can. Dia 1's going to live. Flash is not going to. And GAM have run the gambit. Oh, Dia 1 did die. That's good.
No, it's KDA.
No, not infinite.
No. Oh,
this is
so sad. Now he has 2 deaths over the course of the series.
This is why GAM makes the VCS a little bit less interesting.
Sometimes, yeah. But luckily, it wasn't for the whole series.
No, we had a fantastic game 1 and 2. Well, mostly game 2.
So yeah. If you just tuned in and you ask yourself, how the hell Flash won a game? Yeah, we don't really know either. They were super dominant in the last game. So
Kati going down for no reason. 0-4-0.
Zeros
got his revenge on Yoshino.
He did. Though I would argue it's more revenge on Surge for drafting this horrible composition.
Terrible composition.
Why?
It worked if Slater.
That Mordekaiser pick was one of the most puzzling.
The Mordekaiser pick was irredeemable. It was so bad.
So weird.
Yoshino's not even like really a Mordekaiser player. You don't want to just make top lane a neutral lane when you have Yoshino. You want him to carry.
Yeah, there seems to be a focus put on Mordekaiser here in the VCS for some reason I really don't understand. Every time you see Mordekaiser, he seems absolutely useless. I'm not sure why VCS teams value him so highly, why he's the go-to blind pick as well. Especially on red side where you have counter pick.
Look at Dia's build.
That's a lot of damage. Yeah, this game now is very over. Look at the gold lead. It's more than 10k. One dragon away from Ocean Soul as well, conveniently. Blazes is strong. Adia is super strong. Zeros is super aggressive and has a lot of damage. Look at his items. Death Stance and Yomu's Ghost Blades, a very solo Q-esque build. He will shred the backline. If he ever gets to jump in onto Slater, third Q probably does like 1000 damage on Slater.
Yeah, this is. Oh, I can't. I'm running out of ways to say it's one-sided.
Yeah, can I understand that? Look at Zeros. Zeros is so strong.
What else is there to say? Zeros is walking under the tower and forces Kati's stopwatch. Well, it's actually a Zonya, so it's not as bad, but.
Yeah, so we can talk about the implications of this victory for GAM. They confirm first place. They'll also tie the head-to-head with Flash. So even if Flash, for some reason, gets to the same score as GAM, GAM would still win out because the game score is way better. Yeah. So this pretty much is the confirmation that GAM will finish first place. 9-1 will also lock players, I think. Need to research that again, but I think so. So they are, of course, not looking to just lock players. They want to lock first place because we still have the gauntlet system. So first place gets you straight into finals. Yeah, no, you're not the biggest fan of the gauntlet system. I think for Spring it's fine.
Yeah, I guess. And Zeros
as long as
doesn't even go down in this fight. Oh, never mind. Yoshino wants him to die, but the spear not landing. The swoop away, and I think Mr. Aatrox will be just fine. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Well, yeah. Let's hope this game ends quickly because we really don't have anything to talk about anymore. Flash can't do anything here. Actually, 3 items built for Yijin, but what does it matter? It really doesn't matter. Look at the heal. It's 447, so at least you can heal for a lot. Sadly, they don't have any kind of front line to really.
Wait, they're 14,000 gold down.
I know.
They're about to lose Ocean Soul.
I'm grasping at straws. Yeah, you're right. There's no analysis to be had here.
There's no play-by-play to be had.
That also is quite true. So
this is horrific.
What do you think? How long will VCS go on until we also get delayed by coronavirus?
I mean, genuinely, like if you look at countries around the world, I think Vietnam has had the best response in the world. You gotta remember, they were
better than South Korea.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, South Korea's response has been fantastic, but Vietnam was like the 4th country infected, and they've had 60 cases.
Oh, wow, that's very impressive.
Like, it has
not... I read something on Discord.
There's a few, like, not Vietnam decision factors. Like, Vietnam's very hot. Makes it much easier to avoid what is, in essence, a flu.
Yeah.
So that helps. But apparently they got on quarantine really quick and they were super I mean, again, I'm not Vietnamese, so I'm just kind of reading about this. I don't know 100%. full disclosure, or Infernal cracking some damage in as the top lane in here under siege. By the way, Yoshino's going down in the mid lane, but back to a point that actually is worth talking about. Never mind. Flash will go for the last-ditch team fight. The Infernum is doing so much damage, though. Levi tanked the turret for a little bit too long. Double kill with one auto attack there from Mr. Aphelios. 4 members of Flash go down. And,
Yeah, this game was a demonstration for GAM. This was the GAM everyone hoped to see at the start of the split. This was utter domination from start to finish. No real slip-up either. So last time they played Flash, of course, they had the big throw at the Baron pit. This time, nothing of the likes. Very dominant game 3, and GAM ends this day on 9-1. And will 9-1? Yeah, 9-1. And will lock players as well as very, very likely locking first place as well. So this super important game, super important series. And Zeros redeeming himself after a very difficult second game against Yoshino. This time around, Flash is not able to slay the Kings.
Flash, we mourn you. You did your best. You took one. But GAM was, they weren't playing around in game 3.
Slater also almost looks shell-shocked.
I don't know if you caught Zeros' player cam a few times, but no. I think it's lucky that at the moment players aren't shaking hands because Yoshino might have got punched in the face.
Sorry, you cut out again for me?
Yoshino might have gotten punched in the face because Zeros looked angry.
I mean, he got stomped. He has to be angry at himself, not at anyone else.
Yeah. So. They both got stomped back to back. They gave each other a boot.
True. No, I'd say Yoshino didn't quite get stomped in lane as hard as Zeros did in game 2. MVP for this third game is not easy to decide, in my opinion. Who actually won this game for GAM?
Tier 1 again. I think that catch in the mid lane started everything.
I actually think Blazes has a big claim for MVP this game. He dominated bot lane. Got them a big advantage, was everywhere on the map, while Slater was only farming, so he gave his team a way to play around and a way to siege turrets, because DR1 couldn't do that for them. So, and like in team fights, he was crisp on the Aphelios, so...
It's the less boring pick.
I would lean Blazes.
Alright, I'll concede to you, because I got to pick Yoshino in game 2. So Blazes will get our MVP. DR1, of course, is always in the conversation.
Yeah, DR1 definitely gets the serious MVP.
Oh, gotcha.
Unbelievable scoreline. I don't even know what he ended up with. It was something like 22 and 20, potentially. So should be above 20 KDA for the whole series against Flash, against the second best team. Yeah, especially game 1 was one of his best. Yeah, there's so many insane games already displayed for DR1. You could honestly make a top 10 for player performances just from DR1's list. There have been the Pantheon games where he went at 12-2 back to back to back. The Syndra game this time, he had multiple Cassiopeia games. He had the Lucian game, the Tristana game. It's wow. This player is just awe-inducing. He's ridiculous. So great.
Absolutely absurd. But that brings an end to the match of the week. GAM reassert their place at the tippy top, the pinnacle of VCS League of Legends. I have been Everyday. With me has been Yulwei. We have another series for you tonight. Maybe a little bit of a cool down as Cerberus will be taking on FTV. Yeah. We'll be back in just a little bit. DBL, sorry. Not Cerberus. DBL will be taking on FTV. They're both red. I just see colours. I'm a play-by-play caster. I don't need to read. We will be back soon in all our glory, as will the VCS. The stream will turn off, but don't worry. We'll be back in plenty of time. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We absolutely love having you here. And we'll see you in probably about half an hour, maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah, stay tuned for the second game of the series. Should be a fun one to watch as well. FTV always brings some interesting new cards to the table. DBL is still in playoff contention, so it's very important for them. So maybe not quite as high quality, but it should still be fun. And there's no other league to watch anyway, so just stay here.
Exactly. But we'll be back soon, guys. Thank you very much for being here.